Derrick Farnsworth.
Hey, what's up, Giles? How you doing, Derrick?
Yeah, because obviously we've got Derrick Clarke in the house, and then we've got Derrick Farnsworth. But Derrick said he's got 2 R's and he's got 1, so feeling very left out. So Derrick, thank you. Finally got you on MD Global Muscle. Now, obviously, the big news this week was the announcement for the Masters Olympia. I assume the competitors didn't know until that was announced on Tuesday. Is that true?
Yeah, that was the truth. They were supposed to do it on Monday, and I had went to Vegas for a couple of days to get some rest. And I'm like, well, that'll be cool. I'll be driving back on Monday. They'll announce it. And of course, a couple of days before, they said, no, we're going to do it on Tuesday. So they dragged it another day. So.
Oh, wow. So, so when did you put your application in then?
I think when they announced like the dates and stuff, I contacted them and asked them just some information on like what, where, and stuff like that. And then once they did, probably 3 or 4 weeks after they had announced the application fees and so forth.
Right. You excited, mate?
Yeah, it's still like kind of surreal, you know what I mean? Because we never knew the Masters Olympia was going to come back, and then they had talks about it. And there really was no Masters shows, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm still competing in the Open with the young guys and stuff. And then Gary Uda came out with the Masters Worlds last year and the year before, which I thought was great because it gives a lot of these guys who like myself, David Henry, and other guys like that who still love to compete a good platform, you know. So we thought probably the Masters Olympia would come back in a couple of years. So to have it this quickly is awesome, you know.
There was the Legion, wasn't there? They did Masters.
Yeah, they did Masters too. Unfortunately, they have them so far apart. You know what I mean? Like the one's in like July, August. One's in like October, November. So and there was more of a gap. It'd be more fun to do a couple shows in between, which they are building. There was another Masters show here. I think it's next month, 40 and 50 Masters. So they are building, which is great because I know tons of guys that are over 40, 50 years old. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I went to the last Masters Olympia in Miami back in 2012. And, you know, and I know it lost a lot of money, but I mean, I went and it was a fantastic event. And like you said, there was absolutely nothing for the Masters for so many years. And then along came Jake Wood, because I was at the, because I did the live stream commentary for Romania the last 2 years. And at the after party last November, I was sat with Jake Wood and he told me, he said, look, we are bringing it back. And he was asking us whether it should be 40 or 45 because he wanted 45 and I think Alina wanted 40 because she said she wanted better quality. She said she wanted the best quality competitors, you know? So are you happy with it being over 40? Because I mean, the old one, they had over 40, then they had over 50, then they had over 60. So are you happy that it's over 40?
I mean, I'm 53, so whatever, right? But I mean, I can see why a lot of people weren't okay with it. Like I've heard the police, a couple of guys complain about the 40s because I went to the Olympia myself at 42 and 46. So I mean, there's guys right now that are 40 that are highly competitive in the Open and they can jump in. You know, this is supposed to be like the Masters of the guys who've kind of stepped away or, you know, just not as competitive at the Open level. So I can see the argument of it, but I mean, at the same time, as a business, you want to bring in some quality. You know what I mean? So a couple of guys that are 42, 43 that, you know what I mean, that aren't doing as well at the Open. So I can see the reason business-wise, but I can see the reason why because a lot of guys that might be 50s that have stepped away for a couple of years, they're not going to be as much as someone who's 40. It's just fact, you know. I've stayed in shape all year, but like I know Hide stepped away for a little bit. You know what I mean? So for him to come back, and these guys have been competing fresh. David Henry, myself, and him, we went pro together in 2002. So we've been banging it since 2002 together. You know what I mean?
Wow. Well, thing is, I mean, in terms of, like you said, over 40, William Bonac's 41, Brandon Curry's 41, you know, Phil Heath is 43, you got Kai Green, 46, 47, you know, theoretically, those guys could jump in, you know? I mean, like when Dexter Jackson won in 2012, he was at his peak then.
He was at his peak whenever he wants to. He doesn't age. Yeah. He doesn't age.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because obviously you were competing, was it last year and the year before? You were still looking absolutely fantastic. I remember your condition was absolutely superb.
I did Masters Worlds last year, and then I did Tampa the 2 years before that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Yeah, so obviously, so you turned pro in 2002.
Yep.
What was that as? What weight?
NPC Nationals lightweight.
Yeah. Wow, you're a lightweight.
Yeah.
So what do you actually compete at? What weight?
Last couple of years it's been 69 to like 71.
Sorry, what was that? What weight?
169 to like 171.
So no, what do you compete at now?
Yeah, last 2 years I competed like 169 to 171.
What?
So last year was like 169. The year before that was like 170.
Are you kidding?
No.
I don't. Oh my God! I thought you were like near the limit.
No. I'm not even close.
I've never seen you on stage.
To give you a thing, me and Sean Carrera are about a quarter of an inch difference.
Oh wow!
And he's 180 on stage, and I'm about 170.
Honestly, I had no idea.
That's okay.
That's great.
When I look bigger, that's good.
That's really good. No, but the thing is, I mean, yeah, like you said, Sean Carrera is a perfect example because there's a guy that, you know, is 40, 50 pounds under the weight limit. And I mean, he's winning the 212 Olympia now for fun, you know?
We competed together in Vancouver one year. Yeah. Me and him were first and second, and we were the lightest guys in the show.
Wow.
So it was good. Yep.
That's crazy. So obviously, the thing is, I suppose if you turn pro as a lightweight, that's like 140, you know?
150. Yeah.
154, 70 kilos. So, I mean, yeah, like 15, 20 pounds. That's going to be a lot on a guy with a frame your size, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I competed with guys for 4 or 5 years.
Crazy.
I was on stage with Kai Green and Lee Priest and Tony Freeman and remember Big Hike? I mean, I was on stage with those guys.
Yeah.
Ironman, San Francisco Pro, the big Colorado Pro when Gary Striding came back and made that big comeback.
2006?
I was on stage with him, yeah.
2006? Yep. Yeah. Wow,
I was there.
That's crazy. So you've got that's a hell of a career.
Which is interesting to watch when they came out with the 210 division. Remember, 212 was first 210 in Dallas.
That's right.
And there was like 20 guys, and I took sixth place out of the 20, just missed the top 5. So it was encouraging, you know what I mean? So then they dropped it to 202. Mm-hmm. I took 1 year off in 2010. In 2011, I came back, and it was still 202. In 2012, they did the 212 division.
That's right.
So they moved it up. So here I'd do worse, and I took second in Chicago Pro, and then took top 5 and made it to the Olympia for my first time. So
jeez, that's incredible.
I did, yeah. I think because the guys were chasing the weight, they weren't chasing their conditioning as much, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen guys make mistakes in the lighter guys, like 170, 180, and they kind of spill over because they try to fill up too much.
Yeah, it's conditioning wins shows. I mean, the thing that, like Steve Weimer used to always tell me, you're going to get beat by size, but if you bring your conditioning and these guys are off, you slide in. And that's always been the case. If I'm really on and they're a little off, I slide in. If I try to come in a little bit bigger, it always backfires. So I just got to stay in my game only.
Yeah. I think they get insecure about being way under the limit and then, you know, but look what Sean Clarida did. I mean, he's, like I say, he's 40 pounds under, but he brings incredible condition. And when he looks, the thing is, bodybuilding is a complete illusion anyway.
Oh yeah. He looked, the only time he ever looked small was when he was next to Rami. That's the only time I ever seen him look like, you know what I mean? Okay, you can see the difference, but when he was on stage with Regan and like Big Sergio, you couldn't keep your eyes off him because he's got the detail, the shape, and the size, and that's what bodybuilding is about. It's always about all the criteria, not just having like ripped glutes.
I actually think he looked really good next to Rami at the Arnold.
No, he looked great, but that was the only time I ever saw, okay, there's a size difference. You know what I mean? Where, you know, like, other than that, I'm like, he held his own against everybody.
Yeah. So, how's your training going? Are you injury free?
Yeah, very injury free. Yeah, I actually feel really good this year. As you get older, you got to be smarter, right? You know, so luckily my girl is like a mobility specialist and corrective, so she kind of rides my butt about being more mobile in the hips and everything like that. So that's actually brought my legs back a little bit even more. They're coming back up to be bigger and rounder and stuff like that. And even my back mobility, she's just said, you have a hard time getting some of your poses. So I've been working my mobility and my shoulder socket to keep that V taper better. But yeah, I've been pretty injury free my whole career.
Wow, seriously, because I know you're really known for your kind of crazy leg workouts.
But I think too is I've been getting massage therapy since I was 22. and like every 2 to 3 weeks I go. So that, and then doing my own therapy, and just never been stupid with the weights. Like like I don't I don't squat anymore, but I use a squat machine. You know what I mean? I just knew that I'm not going to put 7 plates on my back and damage my frame when there's such good new technology right now to use. Same hip motions and stuff like that, but just not. I don't need to deadlift anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can do pulls and stuff like that. So just gotta, as you get older, you gotta avoid those moves that can really damage you and put more pressure on your spinal and stuff like that. So I just kind of ease away from some and learn how to train like an old guy.
Plus, you have the knowledge yourself because you are like a what's the actual term of what you do?
So I can do massage, manual manipulation. I can do scraping, but the big one people know me is like active release technique is probably the most popular one that I do. So it's a pattern massage, soft tissue massage, where they really teach you how to get in detail on how the muscles work and create more range of motion and help you fix problems. Like you can go to massage and feel better, but I'm more like a mechanic, like go under the hood and fix the problem, where people who massage, they do the outside body. You know what I mean? Just the surface muscles. Mine is getting to the root of the problem and really figuring out what's wrong with that hip, or why is there a lagging pain, or why can't you move your arm in certain directions. So
Ron Harris told me last week on the Power Hour, he said that people fly in to get treatments. Yep. They fly from one part of America to another just to get a treatment with you. That's how good you are.
I had people come from India, Dubai. I had a guy come from France. I've had Dennis Wolf flew in a couple of times. Flex Lewis flew in. Brandon Curry, when he was here, he'd come in and see me. Various guys come in. I saw Rami the last 2 years. I went to Arizona, not this year, but it would be 21, 22. They flew me into Arizona to work on him a couple times.
Wow.
I've had very good luck with Olympians. Everybody I've worked on has won. When Brandon Curry won the Olympia, I worked on him. Kamal won the Olympia, I worked on him. When Sean Roden won the Olympia, I worked on him. When Rami won the Olympia, but the year after, the year after, they didn't win.
Oh no! So, okay.
I'm like a little lucky leprechaun. If you don't have me in your corner,
you're fired. You're fired. So the thing is, I don't understand. Right? Obviously, word of mouth is prevalent in the industry. People say, people recommend you and say, "Oh, I really fixed my shoulder," and So why? How are you so good? How are you so good? Is it? Do you think guys come to you because they've been recommended, or because you're a bodybuilder and you understand the mechanics more? Why do you think that is?
It's the second one. I think one thing is, I have a guy that I go to myself who's been doing it for 30 years, and they say you either have it or you don't. The instinct and the feel of it. I can look at a body and say this is off. Like your levator is off. How do you know? Because I've touched thousands of bodies. But again, even if I work on someone who's a baseball player, luckily I know enough about baseball. I can say, show me how you throw the ball. And I can say you're hitching your hip, or tennis player doing the thing. You just have to know how the body works and say which muscles are being used, which one looks short. And then you got to go in and kind of, and say, okay, is it his rotator cuff? Is it his bicep? Is it his, his QL on his lower back? Because he's throwing a ball at twist. So you have to know bodybuilding, but you have to also know the mechanics of how the body works. It's not about mashing. It's just thinking, open your arm internally, rotate it. And I'd say it's probably a bicep tendon. And then I'll push on it, or I'll push on a couple of spots and say, these three are tight, loosen that up. And then it's probably your subscap underneath. So it's always a deeper root muscle that's usually causing it. You just have to work your way backwards outside the motion of saying, if he's internally rotated this way, there's something here, but also in here. So you have to unlock the easy ones and then rotate it back. So you just have to know basically mechanics. And I think because I am a bodybuilder and I've had, some very nice people let me work on them. Like Jay Cutler was a huge push for me, because once I worked on him, people started to trust. When Sean Roden saw me do it, he was a big push. When Brandon, some of the bigger guys, when they came in, they said, he knows his shit. And they had seen people who do therapy. They said, he's different. So it's just, mine is I can make you feel good, or I can really if you ask Dennis Wolf, he just did a video with Flex and said he kicked my ass for 2 days. Yeah. He didn't train for 3 days, but the picture they put up after 4 days later, the picture went viral of his back to the bicep. Yeah. Because he was so open. But, you got to do real work. It's therapy. It's not a massage. It's really deep body work, and you have to like unlock some trauma and some really deep issues. So you're going to be sore for a couple of days if you've really been damaged, you know?
I mean, I've had probably 5 or 6 different kind of massage, soft tissue therapists, whatever, and I've had them ranging from almost quite a relaxing, almost like it's like almost like a soft massage to like really, I'm screaming. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just wondering what actually makes a good. Is it the fact that you have to go deep, or is it more about the knowledge of the body?
When I was like younger, I was really like aggressive. I wanted to like fix people so bad. So sometimes I'd be a little bit sore. So people said he's so deep. Now, I mean, that was like 10 years ago. But now, if you cannot make someone hurt, that's awesome. So if I'm going into an area and I'm like, man, I got to put too much pressure, I'll switch and go somewhere else. So the objective is, I mean, if you're a big bodybuilder and you didn't take care of yourself, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
If I go and say, you're a little tight, and I've had guys come and say, you should have been here months ago. So if that person's that bad, I'm going to say you need to come every 2 weeks for the next, 2 months, because if I go any deeper, I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah. So
I can only get on so many layers of the muscle and say, okay, do this, relax for the next 2 weeks, come back. We'll get deeper each time without destroying it, But nowadays, there's people who go too deep and it damages the tissue and they don't recover, and then they want to go back to the gym and train and they damage the tissue again. So you got to be careful with how deep you go. It's more about, doing your post-therapy like Epsom salt baths and continue stretching, and then say, I got to get back in with 8 to 10 days to relieve this issue.
I think for me, looking at the athletes that were talking about it and getting it done, I think for me, something that popped into my head, it was really around 2010 when I kind of became really alerted to like, okay, because I went over to Rotterdam and really had a full body treatment. They were doing his abs, they were doing everything. There was a father and son working on him in this little like really hot room in Rotterdam. And I was like, okay, this is, and afterwards you could see his muscles he looked pumped, he looked fuller.
Yeah.
They look more separated. They look more separated. Yeah. I just thought, like I remember the first time I went, and I remember going to train back, and I did a warm-up set of pull-downs, and I had the kind of pump that I would have had at the end of a normal workout.
There you go. You just nailed it right there. I mean, that's like the thing that really got done is what's so cool. It's like, I call it like muscle sculpting. You know what I mean? You're at the point where the guy's pretty healthy, and like you just open them up. When I go to my massage now, I'm pretty healthy. So I'll go in and say, hey, let's open my quads up. Let's open my back in the middle. So when I walk out of there, you look huge right now. And then the blood flow and the motions of the area is so much better. It's like saying like you need oxygen and blood to get to that area to get a pump, right? Well, imagine stepping on a hose. That's what's happening when your muscles are tight, is that hose is being squeezed. You're not getting much blood and oxygen to that area. And that causes up toxins, and the muscle gets tighter and tighter. So you want to have proper blood flow and oxygen to the muscle. So the more you open, which is like, we bodybuilders are very lazy with stretching. So that's why I say go to massage. If you're not going to stretch, go to massage and keep those muscles open so they stay rounder and they stay, that supple looking, and the striations stay out.
Do you think that's why you've got such good muscle separation?
Oh yeah, I don't stretch enough. Mine is, I've always had pretty good separation, but like I said, I've been going since I was 22, which is 31 years of therapy.
Wow, holy shit.
I've been going that long. I mean, when I was younger, I could only afford once a month. When I hit about like 30s, I went 3 times every 3 weeks. Now I go every 2 weeks, and my girl actually works on me a lot. We work on each other, and the more therapy I can get, the better, because it just makes you feel better when you're in the gym. And we love to train. There's nothing worse than training and feeling like achy or you can't do a certain move. So like the thing you nailed on was when you had that massage done and you went to the gym and you trained back and your back just blew up. That is the best. We all want that, So that's what drives me to go and tell people is to stay open because you enjoy what you're doing.
I'm guessing you maybe even have a waiting list to get you. Because I imagine if all these guys are coming to you and they're all telling, it's all word of mouth, you must be booked up solid.
Yeah, usually it's like 2.5 weeks booked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you have to be careful too. Is like sometimes, I've had some guys come in that are really hard and they expect miracles. Like they got to say like, you have to be realistic because you've had this injury for 5 months. They didn't take care of themselves. So it's like, I can't do miracles. I can say, this is what's wrong, but I can't get it. I say, you're not going to be here for you're going to be here for 2 days. I had one guy come off for a week and saw me every other day for 3 days, and it worked perfect because I worked on him. He took a break up the next day. I worked on him, and in that way, it gave a day of rest, and we could really see what's wrong. And by the last day, there was a lot of success. But you need to give yourself a week or two if you're really damaged. So some people are stubborn. Some people, hey, what do you want me to do before I come? You know, I'll say, get a couple of massages. Don't train the area that's beat up so it can be looser. You know what I mean? It's like if your legs are sore, you have an injury, there's no way I'm going to get in there. So don't train legs for a week so they can be nice and loose. We can get into that area so that we can, you know, get some progress out of it.
Have you ever worked with Sean Clarida?
Not yet. We've talked a couple of times, but the cool thing about Sean is he's really smart. He wants to think. So I love the guy to death. We always talk and support each other. And I was like, he thought, if I go to the Olympics, like, are you going to be there? No. Who would you go to? So he's always asking me, telling me, where should I get work done? So we'll hook up one day for sure because we have such a great relationship, me and him, because we're the two mighty midgets in the class. You know?
Yeah. No, because I look at the way he trains, and I'll be honest, I do get nervous for him sometimes because he's one of these guys. He's so relentless. He's like heavy free weights. He's like a Ronnie Coleman. Little Ronnie Coleman. He trains that way all the time.
And he's fearless.
And yeah, he's I mean, like, and the thing is, like he's doing like sort of 400-500 pound squats, and he's like 200 pounds, and you know, and he's doing 180 flat bent, and you think, it blows my mind. I was thinking, please.
But he gets a lot. But if you watch his videos, he gets a lot of therapy.
Okay, good.
He is really on top of it. I see him go to different guys, but he's always getting therapy. He's getting cupping done and scraping done. Everything that I would tell him to do, he's doing. Good. He's on top of his game. He has a couple of guys, I think, in New York, New Jersey. I see him bounce around a couple of different ones. He's on his therapy. I mean, he's got to go once or twice a week. Wow. I know he does. He's on top of the game. He really is.
Good. Because he's one of these guys, he's just continually improved, continually got better. And I'm just hoping he doesn't get to that point where, you know, it's like he's trying to push the body a little bit too much and then something starts, you know, because the way he trains, he never takes his foot off the gas.
The thing with that is, like, if you're getting the therapy done, you know when you're off. Even like Jay Cutler was a big component. He went 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. He
had a hard therapy, a person a little bit softer, but he knew, and that's how you always know something doesn't feel right. You just know. You know, right back to your pec stays. So because if that muscle is so supple and mobile, the chances of you getting a tear is going to be a lot less than someone who's not getting body work because they don't know how to gauge it.
Yeah.
I mean, he can push up those dumbbells because he's got great range of motion. If you look at his muscles, they're always getting that rounder, more 3D because he's getting such open. Every time he goes, that muscle's staying healthy for months and months, where other people are going once a month and trashing their bodies for 30 other days, you know? He's on top of his game. He really does take care of his body. Well, that's why he's as good as he is.
Good. Do you know, actually, I spoke to Jay at FIBO in 2014, and because I didn't realize he'd torn both biceps. And he said it's really like when Dorian had his bicep and his tricep and everything was off, you know, the mechanics and stuff. That you know, one side was obviously stronger than the other. And he says, I'll be honest, he says, because I said, are you going to compete again? He says, honestly, he said, I'd love to. He says, and then he flexed the bicep and you could see where it was torn. And he said, look, he said, I can't train properly. But then recently I saw a video he posted and he said, I've had that much therapy. It's taken years of therapy on both my arms. He said, finally now I can get a proper connection with my arms and I can actually train properly. But it took that long.
Yep. Straight. Like the other thing too is, I don't know, you probably saw when Dexter was using the newbie, like the electrode machine.
Oh yeah.
I have that too. I'm a huge component with that thing.
Why? Because
it's a neurological re-education machine. So remember how you said Jay didn't have the connection to his bicep?
Yeah.
So we get older, we damage our tissue. This machine helps send a direct signal, which a TENS machine is an AC current. This is a DC current, which is a direct current, mind-muscle connection. So if I go like this and I'm moving my bicep, right? That's a mind-muscle connection. We lose that as we get older because the muscle tissue gets damaged, or as we call it, shut off. If you have an injury, like a bicep injury, or you like strain your quad, the muscle shuts off. This muscle sends a direct current to that area, and you can make it stronger or less. So when it goes in, you send a stronger neurological connection to that muscle to help reconnect the mind muscle. So the machine was used for like spinal injuries, MS, because they try to use it on MS. post-surgery injury. So when you put your arm in a sling, these arms are dormant, right?
Yeah.
You can't use it because you can't move, but you can't put weight in your arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll damage your shoulder. I can put 2 electrodes right here and just have you do this. And it'll mimic 20 pounds of tension without putting weight on the arm. It'll contract the muscle and allow you to contract like there's 20 pounds of resistance, 30 pounds of resistance, 40 pounds of resistance. So that way you can make the mind-muscle connection so that you can recover faster from an injury. That's why Dexter Jackson's legs that year, when he was at Goals with Charles Glass and Brad Rowe, he had that crazy improvement because they trained his legs hard. Because he had the machine hitched up, it doesn't damage his knees because he was sending a stronger signal to the quads to use them and not put pressure on his joints. Wow. It's a huge machine that people, it's not like, I know people argue and say, I don't want to train with that thing. It's not something you'd say, let's hitch it up to Ronnie Coleman and do 800-pound squats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would say, I'd say, let's go in and do 4 sets of hack squats, 4 sets of leg press, 2 controlled movements, and have him work about 80% and put the electrodes, he'll get off the machine and say, holy crap, I can feel a pump in my upside sweep because the connection became stronger. Then when he goes back to squat, he can reconnect the mind-muscle connection. So that's where like massage therapy and the machine go together is you're trying to keep those muscles, the mind-muscle connection, and the mobility of the motion so you can flex completely and fully extend. You see guys walk around like this all the time. Mm-hmm. They can't extend their arm, which means there's something shorted here or down here. So it's just about keeping mobility and being smart. I mean, a lot of guys, they want to keep squatting. I squatted till I was like 45, 48, you know? Mm-hmm. And with the technology today, you don't really need to squat if you have a great base. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many good squat machines and, you know, there's true squats and half squats and front squat machines that can mimic it without damaging those stability muscles, you know?
Well, when Dorian did his hip, he switched to hack squats and Smith machine squats, and that was pretty much for his whole Olympia reign.
Yeah, I read that before. Yeah, he just said he had to and didn't hurt him.
So, I mean, I'm good friends with Ronnie Coleman. Obviously, you know about all his back injuries and stuff like that. Yep. Have you ever worked with him, or would you like to work with him? And what if he did, what would you do with him?
I would just try. My thing was just going to figure out where he's the tightest because something's putting pressure on his back, right?
Yeah.
So I just have to advise. His thing to me would be is advise him what not to do, because you know he loves to train. It's like, you know, use these machines. Now, if it's his lower back, if it's glutes are pulling, something's pulling his lower back.
Yeah.
If it's even upper back, what muscles are causing him, and then give him a little protocol of like, you know, keep your traps mobile, keep your, you know, your erectors or your QLs on the side of your body, keep them mobile so when he goes to train, they're always being warmed up before he goes in the gym because something is firing those lower back muscles and like even like his hips. As we get older, we need more mobility in the morning to get moving. We can't just roll out of bed and go do something. You got to get out and get your joints loosened up.
Tell me about it.
You know what
I'm 46, and I mean, like literally this morning because I was up in Newcastle in a hotel with my girlfriend, and like I obviously get up early, like 6:30 this morning, which is very early for me. And it took me a while to get going. When I said, my God, I feel like I'm 80 years old, you know, sometimes.
Now put another 100 pounds on top of you of muscle.
Yeah.
Then, you know, so that's why and those are the little things that's going to make someone's career go longer. It's just like my girl is on me. Like, you know, I mean, I love her to death because she's not afraid to tell me something. It's like, you need more mobility there.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you go do it, you're like, man, I feel a lot better. You know what I mean? And even ankle support, just little things that you just don't realize. Like, man, my knee hurts. No, it's my shins because I have poor ankle stability because of years of hack squatting because your shin's being jacked up. And when your shin's jacked up, it runs into your knee and then it causes lack of mobility. You start walking different, you know? So there's just little things. You have to find someone who steps back and says, you need better mobility here, here, here. And then you realize, you know what, I'm not broken. I just have to do a little bit more, you know, morning, you know, I call it like morning calisthenics, you know what I mean, when we were kids, you know?
So going back to Ronnie, he said that since he's been having stem cell, he said the pain, he's had 3 or 4 now. He said the pain is reduced by about 80-90%. He says, but now, he said the problem is now, he says, is the numbness. Because obviously
that's the connection. Now put the machine on him. See, now because the thing with him is he's not going crazy. I'd put the machine on him and just have him train once a week on every body part. You know, arms this week, legs next week, chest the week after, once a week. And what happens, the cool thing about the machine is you don't have to use it all the time. Remember, it's a neurological re-education. So it's like taking a computer class, like Computer 101 today. Your body will remember that for the next couple of weeks. It teaches it how to feel it again. It's teaching it how to feel the muscle again and the connection. So if I use it this week and you train next week, you're like, oh my God, Derrick, I can feel my biceps again. So the more and then you may go back again in 3-4 weeks, say, let's take it up stronger. So you're taking like a stronger intake of the frequency and the intensity to make it stronger. And then eventually the body, the mind is great. The body is so smart, it'll learn to reconnect itself.
I'm going to make a clip of what you've just said, and I'm going to send this to Ronnie.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, and the thing is, tell him he's down in Texas. The machine is, that's what it's based out of, is Austin, Texas, the newbie. Reach out to them, reach out to me, or I'll send him someone in his area. To me, I think you should have a bodybuilder, because we know how, some of the guys are just more physical therapists and doctor types. You need someone like who's a bodybuilder and just take him through it and just to show him and prove to him. He'll feel a difference. I mean, use the machine once. If I take you through a chest workout, you'll be done in 6 sets.
Wow.
Because remember, it's only using the chest. You're sending such a strong signal here. You're not going to use these. You don't need to put 300 pounds on the bar, because you're not going to use your assisting muscles to activate it. It's going to activate that area so directly, so you could do, when I used the thing with Brad Rowe, he killed me in 8 sets. My chest was sore for 3 days in a good way, and not in my delts, in my chest. It was full, and that's what we all aspire to. So if he was using it, he would still have that feeling of, because remember, the numbness is nerve, which is because there's lack of oxygen area to the muscle. So he needs to have that reconnection of mind, muscle, and neurological connection, because he's lost so much. Those muscles have been kind of dormant for a while. So the machine would be a huge help for him.
It's interesting what you said about Dexter Jackson and your own quads, because they say that once you get past, say, 45, is it sarcopenia with the sweep of the quads?
Yeah.
Where they say that, literally it's usually the legs. I mean, sometimes you see these Masters guys and they look great, but the sweep on their legs is gone when they get past a certain age. So, you've got this method and this application that you can use that you say can actually bring back the sweep on the quads. I'm thinking about Kamal as well, because I've noticed that's the only slight...
Well, I've been trying to get that guy out. He's like my brother from another mother. But Kamal, get him out here, because I can see his quad on the outside is little, it's not as round.
Yep.
I'm like, let me get in there, because I can tell like his adductors are tight too. And if you lose hip mobility in depth, you can't hit your sweep. Like, the famous, Tom Platz he's in the hole. He's deep as deep. But these guys are doing half squats. They can't get deeper because their lower back hurts, their hips hurts, and that's what really, I think, to me, causes your legs to go when you get older. Because Tom Platz's legs right now are still phenomenal.
I saw,
but he can still get in the depth. He still gets deeper, right? But all these other guys, if you look at them, they can't get his half. They're like 4 inches shy of where they used to get to, and that's those areas where you're activating the real quads, and they're not deep enough. That's because of lower back issues, adductor issues, and hip, all coming from lack of mobility, not really their lower back. It's always like your glutes are too tight, your adductors too tight, something's impinging the hip joint.
So I'm sending Ronnie and Kamal to you now.
Kamal, no, he has no excuse. He's in the States now.
Yeah.
I'm in California. It's sunny out. He has no excuse. I know Ronnie don't mind coming to California.
No, because obviously we got Kamal in the Masters Olympia as well. Because I was when the Masters Olympia was first announced, I messaged Kamal and I said, Kamal, you've got to do this show. And he said to me, he said, well, look, I'm not doing 212. And I says, no. I says, I'm going to suggest you do open. I said, because I said your physique actually looks better as an open. I said I think you could win that.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
he's ageless too. He's so aged. When I worked on him, he tore his calf the first year.
That's right. He did the 2018.
I worked on there. Chris came and said, "Can you check his calf?" And we just tried to, do the best we could without. Then he came back the next year. Then he won the Olympia. So that was cool. He's a great, great guy. I love him.
And I liked how he looked as an open last year. I thought he looked fantastic. I mean, thing is, you think about it, he was 208 when he won in 2019. And he's now competing at he says, I just can't get down to 212. He says, my body's ready at 220 plus.
Yeah. Because he looks a little bit like depleted when he hits that 210, 215.
Yeah.
When he's like 220, he's just round. And he needs that so he keeps his legs longer.
Exactly. That's what I said to him. I said, look, when you go down to 212, I said, because obviously when you crash down to like a weight category or like as an amateur or whatever, it always comes off your worst body part, doesn't it?
Yep.
So
I know his hips got open and a couple areas like that. And he used the machine a couple times to act. This guy's down in Tampa that have the machine. He just has to get some mobility in his hips, and then get on the machine a couple times and do what he does best because he knows how to train. Absolutely knows how to train.
I think you two need to collaborate because seeing as you're both doing the Masters Olympia, I think you need to do some videos of treatments or whatever. I don't know whether you do that. Yeah. And I think you need to do some training stuff together and photo shoot. There you go.
So, Kamal, you hear this, Giles?
Come on, Kamal. Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously we've got the Masters Olympia, mate. Are you excited for this show? Because like you said, it's the Masters is coming back. And the thing is, like for you as a 170 guy, and even though you compete with Open and you're injury free, I mean, you must be happy that they're doing it in all the divisions.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little confused with that, honestly, because I'm thinking, do we even have Masters bikini? Like, in some of these divisions.
I thought that.
Yeah, that's where I was just kind of, but I mean, the thing is, it's a business again, and it'll grow. If we have the first year, it'll grow. And it'll keep the sport growing as people who do Masters, divisions go pro, and they'll create massive pro shows more. Maybe they'll have a qualification for it, which would be really cool because it'll keep the sport going. And so when you hit 40, 50, you don't have to give up the sport. You can compete in a division of pro and still enjoy what you're doing, which, I mean, we all want to stay healthy when we get older, right? So we can train to our 40, 50, 60s smartly. I mean, it gives us a goal because, once you don't compete anymore, it's hard to keep that fire going for some people, you know what I mean? So I think the Masters in all divisions would be great because, it creates more money, more business, more opportunities for all athletes around the world, So I think it's great that way. I'm still trying to get my head around like competing wise. It takes me like a week or two to get my head on it, but as I see people post stuff and all that, it gets me excited because, we're competing in another country, and I've competed outside the country before, and it's always been so much fun. I've done Malaysia, Japan, Slovakia, and the crowds go crazy. They love bodybuilding outside there, So
have you seen that, Derek? Have you seen that venue?
No, I saw a couple of pictures, but
wow,
is that what they have Romania show every year? No,
it's not. That's in Bucharest. Sorry, no. I've been the last 2 years, but I've actually been to Cluj. It's another part. It's like a small town, and it's a beautiful place. But the venue, because Jake showed me at the after party at the Romania show, and I was like, wow. I said that's a freaking arena.
Yeah, that's what's going to be cool. I mean, to be on those type of stage again would be great. I mean, some of the shows have been in smaller venues, so to have it there, once we get there, everyone's going to be excited because that's like being at the Olymp. That's like the Super Bowl type of thing,
Yeah.
And it gives you more fight up than them to be on those type of stages,
And I did.
I saw the Romanian one. That looks great.
And I did expect to see mostly names that I didn't know because I didn't expect the big sort of like Jay. I knew Jay and Kai and William Bonac and the current competing guys. I was hoping they actually wouldn't jump in because, like you said, they've got the new system now with all the the Masters Pro qualifiers, for pro cards. So they're trying to bring in new Masters.
Yep.
So they've actually got it's the same as it is for the Masters as it is for the non-Masters people. So because I tried the Lou Ferrigno and those guys coming back and it went okay, but then. Then you had guys like Vince Taylor and Dexter Jackson jumping in and kind of winning. So I'm actually quite excited about the fact that there's mostly names that we don't know because we don't know who they are.
Yeah, they scare me more.
Oh, did it? You didn't have a clue they are.
Because I looked up some. There's a guy who put up a video of every class, the person in the show, right? And I'm like, who is that? Like there was guys, and all the guys I didn't know are dangerous. I mean, David Henry would be dangerous because to me he's the most decorated one on the stage, and he still looks great. So I think he's the most dangerous one. But I mean, some of these guys I saw, I'm like, if he gets in, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem because some of these guys started later and they have fresh bodies.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of guys I think people recognize, even in the open division, I think too.
But
there's a couple guys that could be dangerous,
But hang on, you're still fresh because you've been competing the last few years. It's not like you're coming out of a 5-10 year retirement to do this.
But there's some guys I think started when they were like 35, 40.
Right.
And had young bodies, and they're like that. So, and again, we're like, me and Hide, I competed with him in like 99 World Championships, and then we did World Games, I think, in like 2001. So I've known him since way back then too. So we've been competing for a long time together.
Yeah. And the thing is, don't forget about the muscle maturity, mate.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, these guys, I know what he's gonna bring, and I know what certain guys are gonna bring, but those unknowns are the ones you have to really be afraid of.
Yeah. So you're looking quite lean now at the moment. Are you someone that stays lean all year round?
Yeah, I don't like to get too heavy. I mean, I eat year round pretty clean. We have a cheat meal too. My girl's a clean eater too. She rarely ever has any fast food in her life. She's never had McDonald's or Burger King.
Wow.
Which is awesome. I mean, yeah, so it's just good and she loves to cook, and she's just, I'm very lucky who I found. You know what I mean? Because we think alike. She's aggressive as me. She's probably stronger than me right now. So it's just good to have someone in your corner like that. We go to eat, we get something, healthy, but, we put our passions towards other stuff. We train together, eat together like that type of thing. She's going to go to the show with me, and then I think she might do Spain after 4 weeks later. So we just support each other. Just to have someone like that in your corner makes dieting and training so much easier.
Hang on, you said she's doing Spain?
She might think into Spain bodybuilding, yeah.
Oh, wow, your lady's a bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Perfect woman.
She was a world champion power lifter, and she's a pro bodybuilder too, so.
Wow. Do you train together?
Oh, yeah. I try to keep up with her.
Wow, fantastic. That's so cool.
And it's just cool because she's super intelligent, and very humble. So we feed off each other. Like, just, it's not like you have an ego. She'll show me something and I have to step back and be like, wow, she's right, and then my experience in the sport and so forth. So we take care of each other well. We protect each other, which I think is important because in the sport, you have two egos. You got me doing a show and her. And when we diet, it's never been easier. It's because we support each other, and we know that we're both hurting. We don't give each other shit. And your show is as much important as my show.
Wow.
So I think it's a huge thing to have in your corner when you have someone who's doing what you're doing, and you can get along so well at those bad weeks, the real tough ones.
Yeah.
But I know when she's hurting or I'm hurting, and instead of, pissing each other off, we actually get closer,
Yeah.
So it's great.
I mean, I've seen that between couples, and they actually say that, when they're on prep, he said they're actually, like, some couples are just completely blown apart by it, and other couples are saying, actually, we get on best when we're on prep because we're both on prep together because we actually support each other.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. It's to do with mindset as well, isn't it?
What's that?
It's to do with mindset as well, and your approach.
Yeah, she calls me an easy dieter. I diet easy. I don't think I just knew when you do it for so long, you kind of know, like, why bitch about it. You just know. And I think the worst thing to do is take a little quiet because I'm thinking, like, reserve my energy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reactive. I'm intense like that. So if things get to me, I'll react. Now, when I'm dieting, I'll kind of like, does it really matter? And okay, I can brush it off. So when I'm dieting, all that matters is my meals, sleep, and keep my stress down, So if I get quiet, people say, you're dieting. I'm like, yeah.
Thing is, you've got quite a physical job as well. So you need to, obviously, you can't neglect that while you're prepping, which I'm assuming you don't.
No, I mean, my therapies relax me. When I'm massaging people,
yeah,
I can get into my work. When I'm training people, it's a little bit, because you're on the floor, you're dealing with people's attitudes and people around. When I'm in my office and I'm working on people, I tend to wake up a lot. Like I can be kind of fatigued, and then have you come in and feed off your energy and be like working on you, and just have a great session. Like, wow, this has been great, and then feel energized for the next hour. Because I'm not a big person on energy work, but I do know when I touch certain people, there's a negative and positive between it. I'll be like, man, this person's heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of emotion on this, so I got to be like, protect myself. So those people I got to be careful. Is that some people drain my energy from mental. It's not like I don't like that word energy, but like I get this feeling like, ooh, there's some heavy stuff coming off this person, and it drains my energy as far as like physical energy. So I always have to be a little picky with those. But I have a lot of excellent. I mean, I have regulars that come in for massage all the time, and they'll talk to me and how you doing back and forth, and they're kind of open with their energy, like, hey, I'm having a bad day today. sometimes when that happens, it makes it easy for me. Like, we kind of joke around and it pushes it off. But if I don't know someone, sometimes the energy makes me, it throws me off a little bit. It can make the day rough. So I have to be careful when I do my schedules the last like 6 weeks. Just be careful of like, how's my energy levels? How's my day going? Do I have any rough sessions going? Or like, how's the gym atmosphere? If the gym is in there, we have a lot of athletes, and if they're all in their zone, there's a little bit of attitude, you got to be careful so I don't take on their bad, juju.
Yeah. So when does the prep start, mate, for Romania?
Last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I knew if I didn't do that show, I was going to do the Masters Worlds, which is a week later.
Okay.
And I was already done. I started a little early just because it takes a couple weeks to get your mindset going and just, get your schedule. So I started last week pretty much we went away to Vegas because I've been pushing it pretty hard with work, and my girl was. So we went away and just, that was my reset. We went there, no real phones. We just went to some shows, went to a bunch of gyms out there, the Fit Club, that new tech gym that's not even open yet. Thank you to Regan who got us in. We went to like Elevation. So it's cool. That's our fun, me and my girl. We go to gyms, like different gyms, and train and get some food, went by the pool, went to some shows just to like de-stress and then come home and get ready to rock and roll.
Do you feel more confident going into a Masters show than you did, say, for Tampa last year? Because you did well in Tampa. You did well in Tampa. Too.
I did, last year I did the Worlds in Pittsburgh. The 2 years before that I did Tampa.
Yeah. But you did well.
I did Tampa in 2020. That was my 50th birthday. Then I did 21. And in 21, I did with my girl. My girl did Tampa. Her pro debut there. So I competed on Friday, she competed on Saturday. So that was really exciting. It just it's yes and no, because I think a lot of people expect you to do better in the Masters because you are older.
Yeah.
You have to get you where the Open. These guys were. I mean, when I competed in 2020, I think Jason Lowe was 25 and I was 50.
That's like double his age.
Yeah, I had 3 or 4 guys in my class that were half my age, where it's like, I expect like those guys should be a lot fresher than me and all that.
Yeah.
Muscle maturity is one thing, but also age does play a factor. So when you go to these, it can be more pressure because you expect to do better. Like everyone's going to put pressure on David Henry because he's the top one up.
Yeah.
You're going to put pressure on E-Day because E-Day's name keeps popping up. And E-Day took some time off. So I mean, there's going to be a self pressure that we feel on ourselves and so forth. And again, all these new guys are going to come out of nowhere. It's like, oh my God, I got beat by someone no one even knows.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to think. But the reality is, to me, it's just another show with a bunch of great guys in great shape, and take the show just like I took my shows before is, everyone's going to show up in shape, but I got to bring myself in shape.
Well, I don't see any aging on your physique. The last physique pictures I saw, when I saw you condition, and I was like, okay, I said, he's as good as he's ever been.
I think that 100% is stress. Just keeping it down. I think that's.
Oh, God. I thought you said stress is getting you in condition.
No, down. No.
I got shredded once when I had a very stressful few weeks, and I got shredded in 5 weeks.
Yeah, no, I think the less stress you have, the better. Like,
right.
If heaven forbid, you miss a cardio session, you stress over it. But you know what? If you fell asleep, you wake up the next day and you're better. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes, like I have a hard time taking pictures. Just stresses me out. You know what I mean? Like, just because over and over. You know what I mean? Because you keep comparing. This like I'll take pictures like fuck it. But if I keep using the mirror, I'm fine. Or if my girl looks at me and so forth. But the pictures play a big stress with me because you look at them one day, they look good. You look at them another day, you look like shit, but you actually look the same.
Yeah.
So they play a mind game with you. I mean, you have good lighting and you do all the the oxygen gym mirror type of thing.
Yeah. The magic mirror.
Yeah. But then you step in front of another mirror and you go, wait a minute, it doesn't look the same. So I think like just taking away the stresses that you have and making your schedule right and things that fit. I know you have to be uncomfortable when you're dieting, but there's got to be some things where you just know that doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out what stresses you and what doesn't, and try to alleviate that as much as possible.
I think this is where coaches come in handy, because at 4 weeks out, I always found that myself and other people I've known, you get prep goggles. You know, like say, like you know, when you're in a hotel and you're away competing and you're checking yourself every hour, and you're convinced by the third time you've completely changed, you've lost all your abs, and the person that's with you is saying you look exactly the same as you did an hour ago. You get that, you know, it's the mind games, isn't it? The prep goggles. That's what I will say. You know,
that's why you have that. The person you can trust, whether it's your girlfriend, your best friend, a coach, someone who's not afraid to say you're fine, or you're a little watery, go lay down. You know, like we just went for a walk. You out in the heat, go lay down. You'll be fine in an hour. Then you get up and you're right. Then you can trust that person.
And then you start stressing out, and then the cortisol comes in. Then you do start getting watery, and then you start flattening out, and then you get your heart starts beating. It's like
that's why less is more. I know, like less is more. Be in shape a couple weeks before, and no matter what you do, you really can't mess up unless you do something drastic. You know, if you didn't take as much carbs as you probably should have, you're going to be a couple % off. But if you said, let's just load up today, you know what I mean? It's either a strikeout or a home run. And I'd rather come in a couple % less than take that chance. You know what I mean? So.
Well, Derrick, Alina has asked me if I'm going to be, I think I am definitely doing the live stream commentary in Romania.
You better be.
Yeah. So we did, myself and Lauren, we did Romania the last 2 years. And they said, "Are you available?" And I said, "Yes," but we haven't heard back for confirmation yet. So, and I will, if I'm there, I'm going to drag Jay Cutler, and I'm going to pop some headphones on him, and I'm going to make sure that he does some commentary as well, especially when the 212s are on stage.
There you go. I'm going to tell Alina right now, get Giles on that commentator.
Thank you.
On Giles.
Yeah. Right then, Derrick. I'm going to let you go, mate. Mate, this has been fantastic. This is like a 10 out of 10 interview, mate. I was really engaged. We've covered so much ground. And really, really good, mate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you, Giles. I've watched your show many times, and we've talked, and I want to be on. And I'm just really appreciate you reaching out and giving the Masters Olympia some coverage, and some of us old guys some coverage. I'm really excited to see all my friends there and fans in other countries, and do what I love to do.
Yeah. And you did message me when I was in hospital last year, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm if you ever need me, I'm here. It's as well. Big Iron family here, so we take care of each other, So I'm just glad you're better now. You're backing up and joking around because I missed that laugh.
All right then, Derrick. Right then, mate. Thank you so much, Economy Global Muscle. All the best with the prep, and I will definitely see you in Cluj, Romania.
Yes. Looking forward to see you, buddy.
All right.
You have a good day.
All right, say goodbye, Derrick.
Bye, buddy.
Say Derrick. Derrick, speak to Derrick.
Derrick, hey, you got the best name, brother. You got the best name. Differently.
Lovely. All right then, Derrick. I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you.
Cheers. The Arnold Classic champion. Oh my God. Samson Dauda
2023. Hey. How's it going?
Mate, I've deliberately held off as long as I could after the Arnold Classic because man.
It's definitely been crazy, man. Seriously, wow.
Your second pro show and you won the Arnold Classic, beating Ramy, Nick Walker. I mean, mate, honestly, I've actually written this in the magazine, next issue.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, I was sat on the toilet with tears rolling down my face.
Oh, yeah. I read that. Yeah, man. I mean, imagine how that must have felt, man. Especially because I remember when we got back to the hotel after the show, I could still okay, the UK asleep, soon a minute. And I was just about to go to bed, and all of a sudden my phone just started pinging nonstop. And I was like, yep, they just woke up in the UK.
Yeah.
They just see it. I was like, yep, there they go. But it was, man, it's unbelievable, man. It was crazy.
Oh, man, honestly, I mean, and it wasn't there's no such thing as any old Arnold Classic, but it was the American one. And look at the guys you beat, mate.
I know. It's just like, it's unreal, man. But you know what? Like, going to the show, I knew that we could do it. I just had a feeling, like, you know what? We've been improving consistently since, last 2 years in crazy amounts. And I just knew that for what the feedback was from the Olympia going to the Arnold, it was a quick fix. It wasn't something that was so outrageous. Like, the judges didn't ask me, okay, you just need to grow this or do that. They just say, look, come in a little bit tighter and keep your midsection better controlled. And this is it was a quick fix. We're already in prep. 14 more weeks to sort that out. That was more than enough time. So we knew if we could do that, it would definitely be a matchup.
What the hell did you do to your calves?
Oh man, my calves always grow, man.
They've just gone. I mean, we just brought up your we did hot news before. And we brought up the picture from last year's Arnold Classic compared to this year's Arnold, the front lat spread. And I said, Derek, what do you see? Tell me what, because I'm seeing something that is freaking me out. And Derek went, what? And I said, look at his calves. And Derek says, no, it's because he's hitting them more than once a week.
Oh, definitely more than once a week. 100%.
No, because now we get to the stage where, because I used to do that. I used to always multi-train cars like multiple times a week. And you know what? It got to the point where I kind of learned how to connect with them better, and just couldn't train them once a week now.
Really?
And sometimes the idea is you overtrain them when you try to push them too much, because I've done all that before in the past where, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, hit them every day just to sort of get them, because they're just stubborn muscles. They didn't want to grow.
That's right.
So, but when I sort of sorted out, okay, sometimes it's not about the quantity. It's not about being able to hit it over and over and over again. Sometimes just being able to hit it hard once and give them enough time to grow, give them enough time to recover. Yeah. When we did that, they just started growing like crazy. And I was like, okay, this technique works. Hit it hard as you can, real early in the workout, real early in the week when you're still fresh, and just let them spend a whole week of just recovering from that. And it just seems like, those things, they work.
That seems like your whole body, man. Your whole body is exploding, man.
I mean, that's the thing, man. You've seen the improvements that's happening and everything else, and it's exciting, man. It's really exciting to see happening this way, and everything just seems to be clicking in place finally. Kind of smiling, and now it just makes us just more buzzing now, because we know that the hard work we're doing is working.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the improvements, like, really, if you look at, I've mentioned it many times, from like Prague 2021, 270, and here you are, like 18 months later. Well, less, really, isn't it? Less than 18 months, 14 months, whatever, 15 months, and there you are. Like, I don't want to keep going on about body weight, because it's not a it's not a good gauge always. But with you, it is, because you have got bigger and better and tighter. Like, remember I said like a year ago, I said I think he needs to bring his chest up. And then a few weeks ago, I said, I think Samson's got the best chest in bodybuilding right now.
And I think that's the thing, because we always, like, the thing is, we listen to what we need to improve. We listen to criticism. We take it on the chain. We listen, okay, right. And we go back and we sit down and we say, okay, right, what are we doing and how can we make it better? And what body part really needs to improve and how can we make that our main focus? We know that where things are going now, we're going to grow all over anyway. But, okay, how do we channel to make this body part the main priority of it? And that just seems to be clicking, and that seems to be working. That strategy seems to be sort of like listening and saying, okay, right, if this is what they want to see improve, if this is what they want to see better, go back home and do your homework on it.
And how are you holding was that deliberate, holding such good conditioning? Because you've been traveling as well, and you're like 313, 314. We just showed the video, of you in Korea.
Yeah.
You look 4 weeks out, mate.
Because, that's the thing, because it's a weird one, because for me, especially when we come up post-show, most guys will rebound and blow out and everything else. That don't tend to happen to me. It doesn't happen that way. And even when I'm not really trying to push that off-season size and that off-season food, I still hold decent conditioning, just being everyday normal, not even being on meals or being on drugs. It just seems to hold that shape, just seems to stick with me. Because I remember even the video I sent it to Milos' update last week, and I said, look, this is me at 315, 313. And he looked at it, he was just like, what is going on? And I was like, I have no idea, we sort of spent like the last just over 5 weeks now, sort of giving our system a break and just letting the body just recover before we start the off season. And we're looking, and I'm going, I know, I've never been this big and be this comfortable. Because it's one thing, obviously, being over 300 pounds and you feel over 300 pounds. I'm like, dude, I feel like I can run. I feel comfortable at it. It feels like more of a normal weight, more than, okay, you're pushing the boundaries now.
Yeah.
And and sometimes, you walk around, and sometimes I have to actually look in the mirror to realize, oh, you're actually a big guy.
Yeah.
Because you get to that point where your body, you're so used to it that you just think, oh, I don't really feel like I'm losing size. And then you look and go, actually, no, you're not.
You said you felt, I think you started feeling comfortable when you got to about 325, 330. Is that true? Is that right? Yeah. You started to feel a bit, okay, now I'm starting to feel the weight now.
Yeah, and that's normally the point where we noticed last year. That's when I started feeling like, okay, now I'm pushing the bar, now I'm feeling the weight. Is that when we start getting over that 320? It starts to feel that way, off-season weight. And, and I think, and that was last year. But I know, as well this year, I know for a fact that because everyone's like, don't get any bigger, don't get any bigger. I'm like, I'm not trying. It's just like because we just came off the Arnold.
Yeah.
You know, we were almost 300 pounds. We just came off the Arnold. And I'm like, we rebounded and came off. And we're sitting now completely just easing about and traveling and stuff at 313 pounds. I'm not actually trying to grow. It's just, that's what it is. Then when we go back and now say we're going to have an off season, I can't stop. If it goes over 330 pounds, it's not because I'm pushing it. It's because that's what the bodies decide to do. And we just say, look, don't try to impede it. If it's working, just let it do what it's doing, you know?
Yeah. And of course, you got the Brucey bonus at the Arnold Classic because you hang on. You didn't just beat Ramy. You beat a much better version of Ramy because obviously, I mean, like Ramy wasn't really not good at the Olympia, and he beat you. Then 3 months later, you're beating a freaking really good version of Ramy, mate.
I mean, you're kind of thinking about it, like, imagine like this time last year, we just did the Arnold 2022.
Yep.
We're having this same conversation. We felt great that, fourth place for the Arnold. This is awesome. This is great. We got good momentum. We don't have to call it now. We just got to get ready for the Olympia in 2022. It felt like, that was already a great achievement. No point at that point would we sit down and go, you do know this time next year you're gonna win the Arnold Classic. No one in their right mind, especially when they say you do know you're gonna beat these people, Ramy, Nick, or nobody in their right mind would have said, I could probably see that happening. It was such a just beyond belief sort of thing that we would have never seen it coming. And to be able to stand here now and say, wow, this is what's happened since then. You're in disbelief. You're like, wow, okay, this is say it's fast, but this is fast.
And let's compare the two Czechs you won. You won the one in Prague, which was 10K, and then you won the slightly bigger one at the Arnold Classic. Thing is, knowing what you've gone through, with your job and everything else, we know all the stories, of everything you went through and the financial struggles and, living in the small apartment. I mean, that must have felt good to win a really good check. And thing is, Nick Walker bumped that 100K up for you.
I know. You know what's funny? Because it was the funniest thing. Because after a while, I think after one of those show promoters came up to me and going,
"Thank you, Nick."
You know what's so funny about? The irony about this is like you were one of the first guys to sign up for the Arnold when it was already 200K as a prize money. You didn't care. You just wanted to do the Arnold anyway. He goes, because of obviously trying to get numbers, they bumped it up to 300K. And it's just ironic that you end up being the guy that was going to do it. Walking away. And he's just thinking, that's ironic.
Hang on. Sorry. I'm just going to say straight first as well. Straight first.
Oh yeah. Because I remember after prejudging, it was crazy, man, because we saw what we looked like going in prejudging. And we already knew that finals, I'm always better at finals. I'm always better the next day. But you have to nail prejudging. You have to, so you're in the running. If you can do that, finals, you're going to shut the door. So when we came out in the prejudging, we were like, okay, everything is tight. Everything looks good. And we did the comparison, and right from the one, they did the call out. And look, it's one thing when you're backstage and you're standing next to guys like Ramy, Nick, Andrew, Sean, Bona. No matter how confident you are, no matter how good you think you are, it puts you in perspective. You think, man, okay, I'm good, but this is a long shot, man. This is a straight. You gotta be something phenomenal for this to happen. So you feel that way backstage. You feel like that. Then you walk up on stage, and I remember they did the call out. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm good. I know I can make first call out. Come on, man. Well, we know we're bringing our best. So we had the first call out. They had 5 guys, and then the first switch I hear is Steve going, Ramy and Samson switch, and I kind of put my head and I look down, and I'm like, is that the middle?
Brilliant! I love it.
So you switch and we get there, and I stand there, and I'm like, okay, but then at the same time you kind of like, it's too early. Let's just see how it goes. Will they leave me here? So he goes through the posing full round, goes through another round, and he goes, okay, guys, back in line. And I'm like, did I just stay in the middle throughout the whole call out? I'm like, okay, this is this is big. This is big, So we go off stage, you come back in, and then they do the 3-man call out. And at that point, he's got me, Nick, and Andrew battling now. Beautiful. Now, at this point, you kind of think, okay, you know what? if you're going to hold on to wherever upside you're holding on to, now is the time you really have to earn it. Now you have to fight, and you have to really show it. So I remember even then, standing there, when we come off, I kind of went off and I dabbed off. Like, I was like, okay, get ready. So I dabbed off. And I dabbed the freaking oil off.
Oh, I know.
And you know when you...
I was worried, mate. I was worried. Day one, I was worried.
Boston?
Yes.
You remember it was all Boston again. Yeah. And I came out and I'm like, oh, crap. And I was like, okay, you know what? You got to sweat. You got to sweat. Sweat. At least it will make you look a little bit more glossier. So we went through all that posing and we go through. And I'm feeling, okay, I'm sweating a bit. Maybe, rub it in, make it look more glossier. But it was one of those moments where you're thinking, did I just screw myself by doing, did I just, because I was literally going out to get ready for, okay, we're going to go, it's going to be a heavy call out next. So get ready. And, you kind of dab off. And I'm like, ooh, I dab too much. And you come back on, and you were just looking a bit faded from it. And I was like, oh, God, no.
I'll be honest. I thought day one, because I thought Andrew peaked beautifully on day one. And I knew that you hadn't peaked on day two. And I went up in line and I said, look, I'd love to see Samson win this, but I think Andrew has peaked day one, and I don't think he can even hold that potentially for day two. I know he can't be better because he's peaked on day one. I know Samson can potentially peak better because he can get his sheen, he can get tighter and fuller like he always does. If he does that, then he will shut the door. But day one, I thought Andrew had you, mate. I thought Andrew had you.
Because day one was the real battle. Day one was the real day where it was like, okay, you go when, okay, it could land either way. Any three of us could be the one. So day one was a real battle. But then when we went off, after day one ended and we went off, we went back to the hotel. And, after you come off stage from a 3-man call out at Arnold, you finish it in the middle.
Yeah.
It's, you go back to your room and, there isn't much you can properly say or do, because it's almost like you walk in the room and you shut the door and you wait and you go, okay, was that just a dream? Is this real? Is this really happening?
Are they messing with me?
Oh, man. And it's almost like panic sets in and you're like, okay, we got to be better tomorrow. We got to be better. What the hell? And you almost want to freak out. So me and Mel, we're in the room and we're sitting there and we think, okay, what do we do? What do we do? Okay, what do we need to do? We got to go back. And I'm waiting for Milos to obviously come to the room to tell me, look, I want you to do this and I want to do that. So, we kind of just waiting up. And then eventually Milos comes to the room. He was like, you know what? Yeah. He was like, yeah. And Milos is over the moon. He's freaking in. And he's like, okay, you know what? I want you to drink 2 liters of water between now and tomorrow. Just go to sleep, have some rest. You're winning this. You can get it. We know you. You know what's going to happen. Tomorrow you'll be better. So just get everything in, just go to sleep. So kind of let off. Literally, I remember I didn't even looking at my phone because I'm like, I can't even start now. It just wells overwhelming. I was like, we just need to sleep. So go to bed, and we wake up in the morning. And I remember Milo saying, the minute you wake up, let me know, I'll be in your room. And woke up at 7 a.m. Woke up, and I'm like, okay. Went to the bathroom, and I looked, and I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, this is something. I was like, and I called him. I was like, you got to come see this. And he showed up in the room. And I remember he did a video that he posted at the time. And he was like, it's game over. He's like, yeah.
One second. How did you get any sleep? Seriously? How the frick did you sleep till 7 a.m.?
You literally had to force yourself to sleep. It was one of those things where you're like, don't open your phone, don't pick up your phone, don't do anything. Kind of just go there and just put your phone down and just put your head on the pillow and just close your eyes and hope that sleep takes you. Because at the point, you were tired. You were tired, but the mind is running so much that you can't shut it down. So you literally have to force yourself to go to sleep. You have to literally, when we got back to the hotel, it was like 2 a.m. It wasn't even like 2 a.m. So it was middle of well, you had to get some sleep. And that was it's a challenge. There's no getting away from it. It's a challenge to sleep in that sort of situation,
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So yeah, Milos came in, he looked at me the next morning. He was like, okay, right now you look perfect. We just need to make sure you stay like this till tonight. So literally that whole Saturday, I literally was sitting in the sofa in the room. I didn't can do a damn thing. I was eating my meals. After every meal will come out. He has to look at me. He's like, okay. Prescribe my next meal. Goes away, comes back again. And we did basically that all through. And when you're kind of in a situation, man, the pressure, the feeling of it, it's your mind is constantly just 1 minute you're feeling great, 1 minute like, yeah, we're gonna get this. Come on, we can do this. Next minute you're like, but what about if?
Yeah.
And And it's literally like a yo-yo all day, and you try to take your mind off.
The thing is, Samson, you're going up, continually going up levels, and you don't want to like get too excited because you know what bodybuilding's like. It can be predictable. Bodies can change. Yep. You could go on stage, think you look great, and everyone's going, oh, and then they move you to the left, and you're like, oh shit, exactly. You know?
Yep, exactly. So this is the thing, because one hand you
can't take it for granted.
Yeah, because you're happy, but at the same hand you're trying not to be too happy because it's not certain. So you're sitting there going, okay, hey, oh, maybe not. Oh, and you're literally up and down the whole time. And then you do the worst thing ever. And then you go up and you look on freaking social media and it's like, okay, shit, don't do that. Don't do that. Not in between shows. Because no matter what happens, no matter what you see, it will always get to you. It will always get to you. So it does affect you mentally like that. And you'll be like, okay, you know what? After a while, I'm like, okay, you know what? Drop that off, turn the TV on, watch something.
Yeah.
Watch a movie, watch something. Just take your mind somewhere else and just forget you have a show tonight. Just try to just alleviate that. And, you know.
Plus those Nick Walker fans, mate, when they get online, you know, because they're really, I mean, he's got like an army of fans that will swear blind that he's won it easy.
Oh, yeah. And then when you see that, he plays up and you think,
exactly. Get in your head.
You know, and then this is why you really do need to just pull yourself away as quick as you can. Like, okay, you know what, just watch TV, don't do anything, just leave it. Because at that point, you start want to change things. You want to be better, so you try and change. And the last thing you do is do anything of that. Just follow the plan, stick to what you're doing, don't do anything. So we kind of managed to do that and sort of like chill through the whole time. And then by the evening, it was like, okay, by the evening I was feeling really good because by the time we had our last check-in in the evening, Milo was just looking at me and going, you know what? In my whole time, I could not see you look any better than you do right now. You're as good as you can ever be at this moment. And I was like, you know what? You come up, the serenity just hit me going, look, whatever I could possibly do is done. At this point, you just go on stage and do what you do best and then forget about it. You've already done everything you need to do.
Yeah.
So when we came out, you know, we did the routine. That spirit was just on me. I was like, okay, you know what? Nah, this part of it is my stage. This is my time. That's what I do best. So we came on stage and just did that routine, and I absolutely loved it. And he was like, yeah, okay, that was a moment, you know. But honestly, the experience, it was
just amazing, man. I was just so. I mean, the thing is, you're already doing well with Hostile before the Arnold Classic. You know, they've really put their faith in you the last couple of years. You know, and you got Milos in your corner. But has life changed for you? Because I mean, going from winning one pro show, to winning not just two pro, but it's the equivalent of winning like 10 pro shows. Winning the Arnold Classic, and not just any Arnold Classic, beating Ramy, beating Nick Walker. You know, and it's like, and then you're in the conversation for not being like a guy. Oh, this guy will make top 6 Olympia. It's like this guy could win the Olympia.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine what that sounds like. Even like, it's. You can't fathom it because, you know, we all train with the idea that one day we're going to, you know, want to win the Olympia one day. We want to do this, we want to be up there one day. And even I have dreamed like one day I'm going to win the Olympia and all that. But we always see him as a goal long term. Like you always see like a long, like, you know, next 2 years, next 3 years plan. And then all of a sudden you win an Arnold, like, okay, snap. All of a sudden it's like you're right there. And your mind, you almost happen so fast that your mind doesn't have the time to catch up. And you're still thinking, holy crap, this is it. The goal is right there. It's really right there around the corner. You just need to keep doing what you're doing, push it, but it's right there. And it's overwhelming, man. Your life do change completely. There's no getting away with that. It changes.
So where are you now in your mindset now? Are you in the point where you're still kind of reeling and still patting yourself on the back for winning Arnold Classic and feeling good about that? Or are you just kind of ticking along, or are you thinking, fuck, I've got to go win the Olympia now?
I'm in this one already thinking, okay, fuck, we got to go win the Olympia now.
Yes! I was hoping he'd say that. I was hoping he'd say that.
Go down on stage, you know, a week later.
Okay, that's done. That's done.
Like, let's go. You know, I mean, you still sort of taking it all in. You still enjoying the idea. I mean, it's the Arnold, man. You just need to change your life, you know, and you sort of taking and enjoying the prospect of that. But at no point in the back of your mind, you just think every training session, I mean, you go into that gym, one thing is in mind, you know what you're training for now. It's no longer, I'm training to be top 10. I'm training to win to qualify for the Olympia. I'm training to just be top 5. Now you go in the gym with the idea of, okay, you're training to win the Olympia. You're training to be the best bodybuilder in the world. This is your moment. This is it. Everything it has to be honed in. Everything has to be focused. You have to have that mentality now. You have to go for it. So it changes, man. It makes, in one hand, it adds this pressure. It does add pressure.
Yeah, that was my next question. That was my next question.
Yeah, man, there's no getting away. There's no way you can see it.
Samson, you've gone, like I said, in the last couple of years, you've gone up a level. Like, it's another little step up.
Yeah.
But then, and your body weight and your placings and your improvement in your physique and everything's changing. And it's like, the higher you go, like, now you're nearly at there's one big step now.
Yeah.
And it's basically a three-man call-out with you, Hadi, and Derrick. Let's face it.
Yeah, man. And this is the moment, and that's what you got to be prepared for. Is that you got to fight first? You got to fight to be in that call-out.
Yeah.
And then you got to fight to win that call-out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what you train for. This is what you're in the gym for. This is what every session, every grueling pain, everything you put your body to has to be okay. You're ready for that one moment. So it's focus, man. It's just raw focus. And it's like, okay, no slip-ups, no rest time, no nothing like that. Follow the plan to the T, like you set it out. And the good thing is, in one hand, it works well because the reason why everything's working well so now is because we had last year. Last year was an amazing trial run.
Okay.
Was an amazing taster. Because last year is so similar to this one that you can almost replicate it and just do it again. Because last year we obviously competed in Prague.
Yep.
It was November time, end of November time, and then we had a rebound, and then we did Arnold, early March, same date. We did the same thing this year. We competed in Olympia in December, had a little shape, then did the Arnold, and then you didn't have the Olympia. Last year was in December. This year is early November, but you didn't have this big break period of you actually being able to improve on to then come to Olympia. And last year we managed to have a perfect year with that. Did the Arnold, did well, went off, improved the physique crazily, and then came back for Olympia. So all you got to do is just literally, okay, the plan is there. Your body responds to that. Just replicate it. Replicate it again.
Given that you won the Arnold Classic, which is of that level,
yeah,
is there any temptation to maybe go in and scoop up 3 or 4 wins on the way to the Olympia? Or if there's any shows after the Olympia, I'm not sure.
After the Olympia, I think after Olympia makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And there's another thing as well, because one thing I always noticed, and we sort of noticed it as well last year. So I'm always better my second show. Right. I'm always better second show around. So with that said, it might be something of, okay, you might do a show beforehand just so you can peak properly for Olympia. It might. I mean, this one obviously we're going to discuss and see what happens. But we've noticed that time and time again it always seems like the second show. 2021, same thing. It took us a few shows in before you're like, wow, okay, that's how you get properly in there. So it's one of those things where especially at this level, at this point, if that's what it takes for you to be able to make sure you're heating it more perfectly, it might be a case of, that's what you're going to have to do so you can be at your best at the Olympia.
So, obviously, I mean, I've got my own opinion on this one, but how do you feel you can improve your physique from now until the Olympia? What would you...
man.
Okay, go.
Man, one thing, I mean, obviously, like, as much as we moved last year, one thing I want to make sure that, because I know the one point that those 2 guys are going to have edge over me will be the back shots.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So that one is okay. I got to close that door. I got to close that gap. I probably won't be able to pass it in the time scale, but I will close it enough that it no longer is a night and day sort of thing. And once you do that, I mean, the rest of it is what else can they touch me on?
Yeah.
So this is the point. So it's like, bring your weaknesses, so match up there, so then you can show the glaring part of your strengths and make that part actually shine out.
All the time I've known you, you've been very good at kind of taking feedback, taking, critique or whatever, and applying it and actually making it happen. Like I said to you, I think you need a bit more chest and back. Your back came up, but your chest went to a whole new level. It was fucking incredible. It's like, so like now I just think, because I think your real bicep looks sensational. I think your real lat spread looks fantastic. But I still think because of Hadi and Derrick, I think that's the one area you could still just get a little bit more.
And that's...
Because the thing is, it's the Olympia, and Ronnie Dorian shows one from the back, blah, blah, blah. That's the one area, those 2 poses that I think...
Yep.
Yeah.
And exactly that. So, you got to be... I mean, for us, is we break down our faults. We break down what we know that we're weak at. We break down what anybody has advantage over us at, and we say, okay, right, let's take that away. Let's fix that. Let's make sure that they don't longer have that advantage. So this one is such a clear problem that that is going to be the one area they're going to be holding their strengths on. So you need to take that away.
And the thing is, they were like very evenly matched in those back shots.
Exactly.
I was there second row, and I was like, holy shit, this is close to call from the back. You know, because I mean, like had he had Derrick from the front, but from the back it was neck and neck, mate, and they were so far ahead of everybody else.
Everybody else from that, you know, and this is so, you know, for us, we know that's something that we got to catch up on. You know, we got to bring it in to catch up on them now, and that's why this off season is so vital for us, because this off season, it doesn't matter if we don't. I mean, knowing me, I'm going to grow anyway, so it's not even a case of it doesn't matter. I can't even put that in check. But what will end up happening is we want to make sure that part becomes more improved. Just almost the gap between our improvement from 2021 to 2022 in the back shot, we want to make that same leap in improvement again to come in there, because at least if we do that, it'll be significantly enough to be like, okay, he might not beat them in that shot, but he's enough for you to turn around and go, and that's all he needs to be.
Well, plus you're taller and you've got more of an X frame, so it's not like you have to beat them in those shots, because you're going to be towering over them, and it is an imposing look. You know, so you've got other things going on in your physique, your hamstrings and your calves, and it's more dug out. There's more development there now. So it's not about sometimes taking them out in that one shot that they specialize in, you know?
Exactly. And this is where we've always analyzed bodybuilding. You know, you can see shows and people say, oh, but he's more conditioned than you. He's more this than you. But I was like, but we make sure we tick so much boxes that you might beat us in this shot or that shot. But guess when you overall tally the score, we get a lot more points than you do. And this is how our physique works. It's being so balanced and so symmetrical, and so that you can't pick out a bad pose. You can be like, okay, he's better at this pose than you, but he's not that you're a bad pose. You have a bad pose. You just can't pick. So when you have that you just tick every pose, no matter what it is, you get scores on every pose. You then all matches up. So is the ideal, you know, what bodybuilding is. It's not just who's got the biggest arms or who's got the biggest legs, who's more complete, who's the most complete bodybuilder on that stage, who's overall package. And that's what we look at, and that's what we bring, and that's what we try to bring every single time we come on stage.
What was it like going back to Korea, mate? Going back in such much better terms. Man, I mean, you know
I just had to, man. I mean, we all know how it started for me there. Yeah. So it was like it was just a given. It was like, come on, man, where else could we possibly just be one of the places we had to be on a bucket list? So going back there this time, man, it's funny because I almost forgot, because it's been 2 years, and I almost forgot the amount of Korean fans that I do have down there and the support that they have for me down there. So we go up and it's insane. It's crazy. And they remember, and they've kept up with my career, and they kept up with what was happening. And the love that they were showing was just like, okay, this is it feels beautiful. It just feels beautiful.
I am disappointed in you though, mate. That fresh octopus, mate. You didn't try it.
Oh no, dude! No.
Derrick, it was alive. It was alive on the plate, and he went, no.
I don't blame you.
That was raw, literally.
Yeah. It was still slithering.
There's a lot of things I'm willing to try, but this one, it just I couldn't bring myself. And they were like, you can give it a try, see what you think. What? And you pick it up, and you think about it, and you see it moving in front, and you're like, no, I can't. Meant to eat something that can move. It's just no.
Samson, you said you wanted fresh fish, so that's what they gave you.
No, fresh. This was fresh, and I was like, okay, that was definitely a no, you know. But they definitely had the power to show us their culture and take around to all these different places and sort of tell us the history, and so really, because I mean, the first time I went there, I was there for 5 weeks. But I was there for 5 weeks, I didn't really see much. I didn't really
you didn't see nothing, mate.
During the time of Corona, I didn't. You were 2 of the weeks I was in a hotel.
Yeah.
The other 3 weeks I was pretty much just prepping for a show. Everything else was locked down. Everything was sort of in that atmosphere thing. You didn't really get to really experience it. So going back this time, it was a whole different experience, man. This time you really got to experience, okay,
good.
This is what it's like to be here.
And another thing with you is whenever you go anywhere, you like to go to the pyramids, you like to go to the art galleries, you like to go to the museums. And I saw you in all, you really like to explore the culture and see everything, because like you said, when you're doing bodybuilding shows, especially when you're in bloody lockdown, you didn't see anything.
You don't see anything, and
Yeah.
it's always this thing with me. Like, I don't understand. Like, this sport gives us the opportunity to travel the world,
Yeah.
like literally travel the world, and many people kill for the opportunity to be able to go places and say, I've seen this place and everything. So to kind of have that and just be like, okay, no, I got competition, so I'm just going to do that and not even bother going anywhere or seeing any of the culture or anything around you. Can you really say you've been to that country though?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, any opportunity that I get to go somewhere new, to experience the culture and say hello to people there, just like, yo, take it, live it up, definitely remember it.
I mean, when I was 24 or something, I went to Italy, went to Mount Vesuvius. So
I really
want
to go there.
And I said, guys, we've got to, if we're on the way, we've got to stop at the ruins of Pompeii, and we did. Now, how would I have seen those things if I hadn't have gone on that trip?
Yeah.
Seeing
exactly.
it, it's like, wow, this is a bonus to what I'm doing.
This is Pompeii. This is the mountain. This is right here.
Vesuvius.
Vesuvius. I mean, that exactly is those kind of things. Like, when you get opportunity, like, I don't know how you can say no, you don't want to do it. It's like you have to. I mean, the thing is, most of those times, you might not remember the results of the show. You might not remember how the show went. But when you have those memories around those periods, the show might not even go to your plan. You might not get a place you like or whatever. But you remember the experience you shared there. You remember, going to the pyramids, going there. You remember those things and the good time you had there. And it gives you more to take home with and more to remember come down the line when you're actually done doing this than just, I competed here, and I competed there.
Yeah. And the thing is, you've got so many opportunities coming up to you now, and they're just going to multiplying and keep exponentially, as you kind of continue your rise through bodybuilding. Because thing is, mate, like, I mean, British bodybuilding's been doing great for the last few years, but you're the biggest. That's the biggest win the UK has had since Dorian Yates in 1997, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge, mate.
That is just crazy. I mean, that for me, I felt proud of that one. I remember speaking to Chris. I was training with Chris Jones, and the week before I flew out to Ohio.
Yeah.
And we both sat there, and I was like, he was looking. We did our last check, and I was about to fly out. And I was like, and we started going, has any British bodybuilder ever won the Arnold before?
Nope.
And we looked at it, and we were like, no, they haven't. Nope. No one's won the Arnold Ohio before. Nope. None of them. And I was like, so does that mean if I win it, I'll be the first guy to do it?
Yep.
And he was like, man, that's an accolade that you really want to hold on to. I'm like, yes, it is. And honestly, to have that it's history, man. Is you putting your stamp on something that is like, yep, regardless of what happens, that's done.
And also, Samson, congratulations on getting married, mate.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Week after the Arnold. And it's been long enough. So
and that was me on the MD Instagram saying about you spending all your money on gadgets. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was me.
Yes.
Because I said, I hope you're not, because you were doing your drone stuff. Yeah. And I said, please don't spend all your prize money on silly gadgets. And you were like, I bought this before the Arnold. I like
my gadgets, but not that much, man. Damn, like, that's a lot of gadgets. I mean, for us, like, okay, to win that kind of money from one show is life changing. It's not getting away from it. It's life changing. Yeah. And you sit down and you think, man, you don't have this moment where people always think, if I won the lottery, what I would do and all that stuff. And it really is overwhelming like that. And you sit there and go, whoa, like you can't really think about it on the spot. So you're like, look, put that to one side. Let's just do this. Just carry on doing what we're doing and come back to it and everything else. I mean, one thing I've always said, look, we were going to get a bigger place. We're going to buy a bigger house anyway.
You've only just moved to this one.
Yeah, but we said we want a bigger one.
Why not?
I was like, okay. So that was one thing we always had in the back of our mind that that's something we wanted to do. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's most likely going to be that anyway. So I'm like, look, we can enjoy everything else, but that is what it is. And that's where we're going to end up putting our time towards.
I mean, it's not a bad problem to have because you just moved into that house. I came down last year, I stayed over, and you've just done it up. And I said, you've done a really good job with the kitchen. And you got, I did all this. I did. And now you've literally got settled and now you're off again.
It's so funny because, I mean, you think about it, like less than 2 years ago, I was living in an apartment that was so small, 1-bedroom apartment, me and my girl, my dog. And we was there just struggling, thinking, man, it would be nice to move into a house where we can get the outdoor space, get everything else. And we were struggling at times just to make ends meet to do that.
Yeah.
And now you're in this position now, and you're looking back, you're going, damn, this is, how can you not love this sport and the opportunity it gives you when your life can change that much in such a short time? how can you not want to give back to the sport when it can give you that sort of opportunity and change your life that much? And for me, this is, I mean, what can I say? I would never be able to have been this opportunity or have any of these experiences if it wasn't for bodybuilding. Just never.
Do you know what, Derek? I think we need to leave it there. Because that's the perfect ending. That's the perfect ending. Do you know what? I had about 10 other questions. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it there because that's just a perfect ending to really, because I really held off. I was like, I'm going to really hold off here because I really want to. Oh man, I was so happy, and it was such a great thing to happen, mate. I was so proud. And the thing is, as British bodybuilders, and the community, we're so proud of you, mate.
No, thank you so much.
So proud of you.
So much. Thank you, man. It means so much. Honestly, it means so much, especially being through the ranks and coming through the UKBFF and doing the amateur shows and everything else and going through it, and to be in this position now. Hell, I feel blessed, honestly. And, I've always had so much support from the British crowd and British audience and you guys that it's been a dream come true for me,
And Scott Horton said he discovered you.
Oh, yeah. That's his first show, man.
I discovered him. 2014, he did my show. He won my Hercules Olympia.
I mean, he was one of the first people that told me that, no, you know what, you need to take this sport seriously because you can go far at it. And I was like, I don't know, I just wanted to do it for fun. He was like, yeah, I think you better, think twice into that one, really think about it. And I was like, okay, I'll see.
There you go.
But yeah.
Samson, we're going to go to the steakhouse, mate. Right. We're literally going to be plunged into darkness in a bit. So I think we better call, because I didn't realize the time, because I got completely lost in this. But Samson, thank you as always, mate. I mean, I always say, didn't I, Derek? I said, I wish all athletes were as easy and as such a pleasure to interview and speak to and converse with as you. You're so professional, and you've never changed, and you've always kept that level of, you've always kept that humility and that realism, and just, and it's been a real pleasure to follow your journey, mate.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. It really means a lot, man. Really means a lot. And obviously all the support that you've given me right from day one. I mean, you're the very first person I've ever had an interview with.
Really?
So, yes, the first person I've ever had an interview with. So you can imagine why I always say, look, anytime you ask me, I'm always like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. So, dude, I really appreciate that. Really, a lot. I really appreciate that.
Well, I was driving up to Newcastle and I got the text and I just went, yes, he said yes. I was like, yeah, I thought maybe the big shot now and he'll brush me off. But Samson, I'm going to let you go, mate. And like I said, thank you as always. And big love to Marlena and Cerberus, mate. He's a good dog. And I'll follow your cool drone videos. They're cool.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Samson. Thank you so much for coming
on. Have a good evening. Enjoy steak.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Samson. Bye-bye, mate. Bye. Okay, guys, and welcome to Hot News for Season 5, Episode 29 of MD Glow Muscle. I am here once again with Derek.
Yo, back in the hot seat.
Derek, you've got to swish yourself. Come on. It's so tricky. Honestly, guys, it is so tricky because Derek has to... There he is. I tell you what, Derek, you're looking very big, mate. Training's going well?
Back in training. It's going quite well. Yeah, I did legs on Friday, so they're a little bit sore. But yeah, I had a really good session, so glad to be back.
He had to walk in sideways through the door. Well, good. Yeah, I think you've stolen all my muscle that I lost over the last 2 weeks when I got sick. But actually, Derek took me to a really good gym, Muscle Bound in Bradford.
Muscle Bound in Bradford.
Nice gym. But I'm very loyal to legends. Anyway, right. I've literally just got back from Derek's still thinking. Right, okay. Also, Derek, we had a very good response on Brent Swanson last week.
We did.
Very good. I've really, really enjoyed that interview, actually, because obviously it was a bit self-indulgent, I'll be honest, because obviously being I'm type 2 diabetic, you're type 2 diabetic. Mm-hmm. This guy was type 1, so he's like he's got the proper... Daddy. Yeah, he's got the proper diabetes, not like this.
Not the player one like what we've got.
Yeah, so it was interesting because obviously if a guy like who's got type 1 can be a successful bodybuilder, then it really, because it's almost like a disability for what they have to do, just to sort of be normal and stay healthy and stay, not die on a daily basis. I mean, it is bloody intense, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And to keep on top of it for so long, so he's doing really well.
Yeah. So good guy as well. Like I said, it was nice to have a good response on it as well. Yeah. And also, we are back up to our 2-guest thing because, like I said, I was a bit sick a few weeks ago and I just had to do the bare minimum for a couple of weeks. But it's all good, And I'm starting back training tomorrow. So the suit's starting to get loose again.
Yeah.
They were just, honestly, because from January to April, they were starting to get really tight. And and the old taper was coming back.
Out and everything, but now...
Freaking hell. Ooh. And the thing is, when you're sick, you're hungry, but you don't want to eat. You've got no appetite. So right. I could feel the weight. Oh, my God, it was soul-destroying. So, anyway, so I'm going to start back tomorrow and kick some ass. But anyway, the big news obviously this week was the Masters Olympia. So I think that's why Derek's getting big. I think he wants to get a special invite. He's thinking if he comes and gets on Globe Muscle, we'll obviously
might get a special invite
with a live stream. No, you got to get a pro card first.
Yeah, true. I can get a honorary one. Yeah,
honorary. I'll get you an honorary pro card. And I think Lauren will scratch your eyes out for that one because she wants a pro card as well.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, everyone wants a pro card, but I'll jump in the class. I'll do the live stream and then I'll throw the headphones off and then I'll jump in the Classic Masters because that was my last show. Masters? No, it wasn't. Oh God, I am Masters.
Yeah.
God, seems like last year I was entering the juniors, but did you ever do juniors?
No, I didn't do juniors. By the way, that gym I was mentioning, it's Bridges Gym in Brighouse. You need to check that one out. Very good gym. Okay. That's Nigel.
Okay. Legends is better. I love Legends. I love the guys, Gareth and Adam, because they've spent so much money on it. And every time I go in there, I'm like, ooh, new equipment, So, and I haven't been in for a few weeks, so it's probably going to change completely again, They probably turned it into a bloody trampoline park or something. But anyway, what are we talking about? I forgot now. What are we talking about? Masters Olympia, yes. Right, so let's go on to our first guest Instagram account, because obviously we had fantastic interview with Derrick Farnsworth.
Yep.
Same spelling, but he's got one R to your two.
That's right.
2 R's.
That's right. So. Mine's 2 R's.
So why isn't your name spelled Drek?
That's how my mum named me. That's how my dad spelt it.
So where are you from originally?
Jamaica.
Is that like a Jamaican spelling?
No, because Derrick's it's a crane. Derrick is a crane on London docks.
It's a what?
It's a crane. That way of spelling is it's a crane.
A crane?
Yeah, it's a crane.
Okay.
DERRICK.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alias Big D.
Big D. Every day's a school day with Derrick. Right, okay then. So we'll go to Derrick Farnsworth to his Instagram account. A fantastic interview really there. I really enjoyed that. Really, it was covered a lot of ground there, and I think he said afterwards on the messaging he was very happy with it as well. Anyway, so let's go to Derrick Farnsworth because obviously he was announced as the 2-1 on the 212 competitor list for the Masters Olympia, which I'm hoping I'll be at. But so Derrick, there's the list. Do you recognise any of the names off there?
Let's have a look at this list. Do
you remember Bola Ojax? Do you remember Bola from 2003? Okay. He won Mansfield. He won the intermediates at Mansfield. Then he went to the British Grand Prix that Jay Cutler won, and he won the amateur show and the pro card. Then he stepped on stage and he got a comparison with Gunther Schlierkamp.
Did he?
And a few weeks before, this guy was a novice, an intermediate at the Mansfield show.
Wow.
So, and I remember because Gunther Schlierkamp was really like, he started going like this, like, why are you comparing me to this guy? And everyone started booing him. Somebody called him a kraut. They did. They were like, you effing kraut. That's what the guy next to me started shouting. Because they were like really unimpressed because he was buzzing. He's like, I got a call out with the guy who beat Ronnie Coleman last year.
Yeah.
Imagine being a novice and 6 weeks later, you're in a comparison with the guy that the year before beat Ronnie Coleman. And thing is, and he was going like, why am I being compared to him? So he got a few boos.
Good.
Good.
I don't think it would have affected that guy. It affected him anyway, because he was being happy.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just the sun's decided to come out because hang on, God, I'm all over the place today. Hang on, sorry. Anyway, yeah. So we got a guy here from the UK, actually from Ireland, Massoum Butt.
Yep.
Yeah, very good competitor. Like I said, a lot of the names I don't actually know, so I think it's a lot of new pros. But really happy to see Derrick Farnsworth there in the show because he did. I think he got 5th in Tampa. Was it last year or the year before? and he looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, his conditioning, I couldn't believe it when did you see me do a double take? When he said his body weight, I went, hang on, whoa.
Yeah,
definitely. I said, I could have I thought I could have sworn he said 170.
170.
And he went, well, yeah. And I was like, I thought you were like a 200-pounder. So he's the same height as Sean Clarida, but obviously he's not as big as Sean. Nobody's as big as Sean Clarida.
He's 10 pounds lighter, isn't it?
So he must be like 5'2" or something.
Yeah.
But he looks really good. He's going to be really good. He's going to be a top 3 guy. Well, he's going to be really competitive.
I hope so. He's a nice guy. He's got a fantastic name.
So it was really good to like I said, he's messaged me a few times over the last few years, and I probably should have got him on before, but as soon as I saw his name on the list on Tuesday, because we did like a live watch party with the because Instagram Live, they announced there was Steve Weinberger, Alina Popa, Jay Cutler, and Derek Elguindi, and they all brought the lists out, because the competitors they apply and they don't know until that time. Until it's announced. So and after the next day, all these reaction videos of people watching the live going, "Oh my god!" Yeah. So they got in. So
that's good.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I mean, obviously he's really bloody mic headphones. So he's really, really happy to be in, and I honestly he will be very, very good. I think he'll be top 3. I think the top 3. We don't know, because I said a lot of these names you don't know.
Exactly.
So anyway,
it'll be a good show anyway.
Yeah, a good show. So here he is talking about how he doesn't go heavy anymore. Hang on a minute. He said, what did he say?
He doesn't go heavy. But
he says, no, I don't. Hang on, Mike. He says, yeah, I don't go heavy anymore. How many plates is that? Hang on. Top set for 11. He's got 11 reps. Derek, can you count the plates? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks like 8 plates.
8 or 9 plates.
9 plates for 11 reps, and he's 170 on stage, and he's saying he doesn't go heavy anymore. Derek, we've been trolled. Derek, we've been trolled.
We've been trolled.
You've been trolled. Yeah.
100%.
So this guy is what? How is he? 52, 53 said. 52,
yeah,
52, 53, and he's. I mean, thing is, he's got no injuries. He gets a lot of therapy on his legs.
Injury-free, yeah.
That's incredible. So the thing is, he's always been known for his crazy leg workouts.
Yeah.
He's really, really, really. So let's have a look at some physique shots. Here he is at the Olympia. I don't know what year this was. Oh, this was the 212 Olympia Showdown. This was the year it went from 202 to 212.
Right,
this was the first year that Flex Lewis won. So Derrick Farnsworth was in the 212 Olympia in 2012. Now, 12 years later, I'm gearing up to compete in the 2023 Masters Olympia in Romania, August 25th to 26th. 3 decades competing in the Pro League. Let's do this. So
let's do this.
He's tagging in Jay Cutler and everything. Look. So I want to see some. Closer physique shots. Yeah. Lots of things of dogs and stuff. Is this his lady? Is this no? She's. Oh no, it's a client. So these are the clients he works on.
He's worked on some pretty top clients, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good at his job.
Rami, Jay.
Yep.
Jay, Sean Roden.
Yeah.
Brandon Curry.
Yep.
And he said they've all won apart from last year.
Yeah. Everybody's worked on he's won.
Yeah, but this was him. Just looking back at this was last year at the Masters Pro World Championships. So this, like I said, he's not missing a beat. He's not.
No. He's there, isn't he?
His conditioning, his skin looks tight. Yeah. He's injury free. Yeah. So if you're 52 and you've been training and competing 30 years, and you're still, like I said to him in the interview, as you heard. I said, you're not showing any signs of aging. No. There's no loose skin. No. There's no torn art. There's no torn muscles. No. Nothing. So, have you got any injuries?
Yes.
What have you torn?
Well, if
it's going to take too long, don't bother.
Yeah. Well, I remember I broke my foot.
Oh well, yeah, but you then judge your feet.
But then again, I've got a hip injury.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a hip injury. They said I need a new replacement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
How do your quads look, though?
My quads don't look too bad. Okay. But yeah, I'm limping a little bit. But
right.
Hopefully we can get that back.
Hang on a minute. Jay Cutler with Derek. Is he guest posing with Jay Cutler in 2005? So you can see the height of him there, can't you? You can see like he's a small stature guy, you know?
Yeah.
But
he's
the
got
physique,
good legs, though, hasn't he?
his legs are fantastic. Well, like I said, he's always been known for his legs. Look at Jay. Right. Look at the size of Jay. Wow. Oh my God, you want to spill his protein drink, would you? Wow. Oh, this is his lady. 5 weeks out, we working, no stone unturned. Yep. Eva is laser focused. She will bring something special to the Savannah Pro. I couldn't be prouder. Work ethic is everything in this sport. Totally agree with that. She's got good legs as well.
She's got good legs as well.
Yeah, they obviously train legs together.
Yeah, definitely.
They ain't skipping leg day.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at some more pictures. I want to see some more physique. This is the black and white shot. Look at that.
Oh,
what do you think?
That's pretty good.
It's good, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looks good.
So that's last year.
It looks good.
That's last year.
Guys, look at this. 52 or 53. He looks brilliant.
And he's 170. Oh, he's 52 now. Yep. Yeah, he's 52 now. 52. Probably one of my favourite shots of the day at the 2022 Masters World Championships, of course, taken by my love, Eva. As I approach my 50s, I'm 52 now, I would access every year and ask, am I still competitive at this highest level? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I think he is. Well, I mean, you can see he's obviously going to do well because he did really well at the Tampa. Oh God, the sun's coming out again! Bloody hell, bugger off, sun! You've been out in all day. God, I tell you, because I drove back from Newcastle today.
Yeah,
I tell you what. I mean, I was trying to show Lauren. She says I'm not impressed. I said, yeah, but the weather's so shit. The weather was terrible. And then as soon as I started driving down the motorway this morning, I think when I got to past Scotch Corner, it started brightening up.
Yeah. It would, wouldn't it?
And it was so cold up there as well because we went out and... So anyway, back to Derrick Farnsworth. So this is the machine. I thought this was a gimmick when I first heard about this. You know, these machines they put on? Yeah, I thought it was. But, I mean, you know, you heard what he said in the interview. He absolutely swears by it. Yeah. So...
What was it, a tense machine? Yeah.
Yeah. Look at these guys, man. They're pumped, aren't they? Big men's physique type. He looks like Superman. So that's pretty much all I want to see on Derrick's Instagram account. So like I say, he's got a lot of stuff on his clients there, but a lot of old pictures and stuff because he's been competing for many, many years. Mm-hmm. So let's have a look. Right, okay, let's go to our next one. Our guest, Samson Dauda, who we actually haven't interviewed yet because we're filming this in a funny order because we want straight as soon as we've done with Samson, we want to go out and get some food again. Hopefully, we won't have the driving experience we had last week because we went to three different places. Exactly. They were all busy.
Too full.
Thing is, it's bloody bank holiday this weekend.
It is.
It's going to be busy, isn't it? I think we should just go to Nando's again.
Should we just go to Nando's?
Just go Nando's. Let's not even try Toro's.
Ronnie's favourite place.
Yep, I go 3 times a day when I'm in the UK. So, we went there in London, didn't we?
We did.
And all the managers are coming over having selfies with Ronnie.
Everybody were coming up from the street. They were coming in and
starting for selfies. That's crazy. Do you think he gets annoyed by that? I've seen him.
He's used to it. Actually,
the only time I've ever seen Ronnie say no was when we were in Birmingham Nando's and we were actually eating and we were really hungry and I think we were about to go to the gym and we were actually physically eating our food and someone said, "Excuse me, can I have a picture?" And he went, "No." Yeah, and I went, "Fair enough." And I said, "Guys, come to the stand at Body Power tomorrow." Yeah, I said, "We'll happily have a picture," because he was actually eating. It's like.
Yeah,
because you've got to have some time to yourself.
You know. Because, I mean, when the other guys came in, we weren't actually eating them. We were just waiting, weren't we?
Very good point. Yeah. I mean, like I said, any other time he's very accommodating, Ronnie. You know, I've been with him many, many times. I've been Germany, UK, America. You know, he's just
a gentleman, isn't
he? He is. And he genuinely feels good from the fans because he gets such a positive response. But anyway, let's talk about the man that has basically rejuvenated British bodybuilding to a level not seen since 1997, since Dorian Yates, Samson Dauda, the Arnold Classic champion. Absolutely, this is what he looks like now, and he's been off since the Arnold. You know what I mean by off?
Yeah, off.
Off supplements.
Off supplements.
Yeah, no branched chain aminos. But I'm pressing the wrong bit. Yeah, this is how he's looking now at 313 pounds. I mean, he looks 4 weeks out.
Wow.
And that's so. Can you imagine? And it's so smart doing it this way because if you clean yourself out properly after a big show, because the next show he's going to be doing is the Olympia.
Yeah.
Do you think he can win it?
You know something? It would be absolutely amazing if he did. It would be absolutely amazing if he did.
Imagine.
UK back on the map.
He was 297, right, at the Arnold Classic. He was 292 at the Olympia. Imagine if he came in bang on. I know it's not about body weight, but imagine if he came in banging 300 pounds in his best condition ever. You'd have a 300-pound aesthetic guy winning the Olympia.
Yeah.
Like that 10 years ago, that 5 years ago, that was seemed like a complete, like just an unobtainable dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look at the aesthetics, and he's really, I mean, thing is, he's a non-stop worker. I've seen huge improvements in his chest, his calves. And I mean, that's really, popping, really good condition.
Popping, yeah.
And he's off everything at the moment. Crazy, isn't it? Can you imagine when he responds? You know, because he's cleaned his body out. He's doing it right. He's not just staying on all year and just kind of hammering it. Because obviously, as you know, that will shorten a career and it'll shorten your health as well, affect your health as well.
Yeah.
So
Samson was rooting for your boy.
Yeah. We love Samson. We love Samson. He's an absolute dream to interview. And it's been an absolute pleasure following Samson's journey right from the very, very beginning. You know, I remember when he turned pro at the end of 2017, and there was people complaining, saying, oh, because Samson's got his pro card at this event, there's an argument for pro cards being given out too much. And then the year after, he went and took 4th place at the Evil S Prague. So he made top 5 in his first pro show in a good lineup.
Yeah.
And that was against Rulli and Nathan Diasher, guys like that, Lucas Sladel.
Yeah.
So but he's just, I mean, the level of improvement Samson has made.
He's improving every time. Every time he hits the stage, it's improved, isn't it?
Yep.
Every time he's hit the stage, so he's doing something right. Whoever's coaching him or whatever is doing something right. It's, take my hat off to you, kid.
Yep. So let's have a look. He hasn't posted much actually on here. Look, there's a difference between the two Arnold Classics. The one on the right is the year before when he was 280. And here he is a year later, because he took 4th in that Arnold Classic. And here he is a year later at 297, winning the Arnold Classic.
Just look at the difference.
Do you know what? Do you know where the biggest difference I'm looking at?
Go on.
Calves. Look.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. My.
Derek, I'm asking for a friend. How do you double the size of your calves in a year?
Well, he's hitting them more than once a week. Anyway, let's put it that way.
You think so?
Oh, definitely. And look at his thighs, though.
I know. I mean, imagine. I mean, the rate of improvements. Look at the shoulder width.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And his back.
I mean, it looks like his little brother on the right.
Yeah.
So it looks like his little twin brother, little Jimmy Dauda. Wow.
And that's in a year.
That's one Arnold Classic to the next Arnold Classic. There you are. Look. 2022 Arnold Classic on the right, 2023 Arnold Classic on the left. Oh, please, sun's out again. So that is, I don't want to keep putting pressure on and saying, can he do it again and again and again? But imagine if he did do that and he improves like that for the Olympia. So let's have a look. It's 4 years difference.
Look at the back.
Look at that. The thing is, he can improve, as we know. He can still get better. He can still get harder. But I'm liking like look at the X frame, the small waist,
the details in the hamstring.
Yep.
As he says, he's brought his calves up. You see, and the thing is, he's brought up all his weaknesses and everything.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't really call them weaknesses, but you can see the improvement. From that shot.
Look at the back.
Look at the back. Look at the back and the thickness.
His arms have always been good. But he could still get drier though. So there's still improvements he can make. I think he can still get his back better. I think back and conditioning, if he addresses that and he makes those necessary improvements, I think there's an argument for him winning the Olympia this year.
He will make the improvements.
Yeah.
He will, because
I think
the thing is, as he says, he's improved every single time.
Yeah.
Right? And is keen with his attention to details, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think we saw this video last week. This was when he was in Korea for 4 days. Look at that. I tell you, do you know what he's doing? He's doing traveling and he's staying in that kind of condition. That's a real. Yeah. Do you know what other pros should be taking note? Because I know he's on a bit of a roll at the moment, confidence-wise. But oh god, that sun. The sun's right there. It's all right. Don't worry. We'll just deal with it. Just deal with it, guys. Or just put me up. Just put me on the Skype on the Instagram screen. Anyway. Yeah. So like I said, he's obviously the confidence boost and the financial the benefits of winning the Arnold Classic, 300k. That's absolutely incredible.
Doesn't it? Well, it helps.
Well, of course it does. And I mean, that thing is, he's got a good salary coming in. With his sponsors.
With his sponsor now, yeah.
So he's in a much better position than he was a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. So that is for sure. So, but it's a very inspirational story, and he's a great role model, Samson. And like I said, I brought him up 1,000 times on MD Global Muscle. It was getting ridiculous at one point. I was bringing him up every single week because he kept posting these updates, and it was just blowing our minds every single week. So hats off to you, mate.
Who's his sponsor?
Hostile. Fuad Abiyad. Hostile.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good company. Yeah, they're doing very, very well. Right, I'm going to quickly go to Bodybuilders Without Borders, see if there's anything juicy on there. It's pretty much Masters stuff. This guy I'm interested in seeing. Oh, Beef Stew. This is, I don't know his name actually. I'm not going to click on it now. But this was a guy with a crazy hair, and he's looking very good next to Hunter Labrada there. Doesn't he? This guy hasn't competed yet, and this guy's been 4th at Olympia. So, and he was 7th at Olympia last year.
Where's he from?
This guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think New York. I think maybe.
He's from New York.
New York. Yeah, I'll have to get him on Global actually. See if we can find out a bit more.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to cut that hair for the Arnold. Sorry for the New York Pro. But I tell you what, the thing is, it's a sport comparison, and you don't realize how good somebody is until they stand next.
That's right.
Until they stand next to someone who is very good.
Yeah.
Like Hunter Labrada.
Yeah.
So, and I tell you what, he compares very well. But because Hunter is doing the Texas Pro later in the season, and Stu is 3 weeks out here. But I tell you what, he could do really, really well.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a front runner for the New York Pro.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to go up against a guy called Carlos Thomas Jr., who's very good, who's actually taken himself off Instagram since he started this prep.
So he's undercover, is he?
He's undercover.
He's
so
undercover.
I think because Ron thinks Carlos Thomas Jr. will win the New York Pro. I'm not sure about that. I don't. But then again, I don't know actually who is actually entering. But good, that sun's off me now. So that's interesting. Quickly, let's have a look. See if there's anything else. Let's have a look. Oh, there's Mohammed Foda we had on the other week. I think Lauren did the switching for that one. The guy from he's Egyptian, but he lives in Dubai. Did we do that one? Do you remember this guy? Was it Lauren did the switching for that one?
Last week it was me.
No, this was a few weeks ago.
Oh, right,
we had Mohammed Foda on. He's prepped by... I've completely forgot now. So this is a guy I want to keep an eye on because I've been talking about... I noticed this guy since 2018. So that's pretty much all I want to see on there. Like I said, a lot of hotting up now for the Masters Olympia because all the names are out. In the Open, we'll quickly go through the Open. Fred Smalls. These are the names that are sticking out to me. Josh Lenartowicz is making a comeback. Yep. So I'm very happy about that. Kamal El-Gargni in the Open.
Whoa.
Yeah. Max Charles, very excited about that. Phil Clayhar. I think we're going to get Phil Clayhar next week.
Right.
He's a very cool guy. Jamaican tank.
Oh,
Jamaican.
Whoa, Jamaican.
Don't start talking Jamaican to each other and leave me out of it. I'll have to take the mic off you. And we've got Robert Benica, Rusty Jeffers. Do you remember that name?
No.
Oh, come on. You must remember Rusty Jeffers. You're a bodybuilding fan. Do you remember the really aesthetic guy with the funny moustache?
When I see him, I'll probably...
Yeah, from the 90s, you will. I promise you you will know who he is. And Vinny Galanti. So there's some good names in there. But I would say Josh, Kamal, Max, and Phil. I think that's going to be the top four. Fred Smalls is very good as well. We better go because we've got Samson in a minute.
Derrick is coming in. Derrick will be in there.
Derrick?
Yeah.
Going to get Derrick Clarke. Oh, no.
No.
Derrick Clarke?
Derrick, no.
Derrick, I'm sorry, mate. I don't think I can sort a pro card and an invite. I could probably sort one.
No, the other Derrick.
Oh right. Sorry. Yeah. No, he's doing 212.
Oh, he's just 212 of the
Open. He's only 170.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
But then again, he can
still do it.
He's done open shows, isn't he?
Yeah, he can still do it. Don't look out of place.
Yeah, he says he's done open shows. Right, quickly, we're going to finish off with this is my Instagram account. This is a picture I took in 1997 of John Citrone because he is 80 today, the British bodybuilding legend.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John. We love you. Very good friend of mine. Gave me one of my first breaks when I was 23 years old. I moved up to Newcastle and I worked for a supplement company and designed some of his best-selling products. The Rocket Fuel, remember that?
Oh, yeah. Rocket Fuel.
Number one. That was my idea.
Was it?
That was my idea. I said, John, do you know what I said? I said, John, I got an idea. And I said, let's do a shake and take format. And I said, do you know what I said? This was in 2000. I said, John, I think this pre-workout thing is going to catch on. And he went, And I said, let's do a pre-workout, caffeine and tyrosine and all that, taurine, creatine, dual action carbs. And he said, Nah, he says, we're a protein company. He said, people want protein. And I said, John, please, it'll be really, it's not like a very cheap shipping and all that.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, go on then. And 3 months became our biggest selling product. And turnover tripled every few months.
Wow.
And we had to move premises twice because we just expanded that much. So anyway, but so it's John's surprise 80th tonight. I couldn't make it because I had to come back from Newcastle, but if I'd have known, I would have moved filming back because I would have loved to have gone to see that. Because John actually splits his time between Spain and the UK, and he was actually back in the UK at the moment. But he was because we had him on Global Muscle, if you remember, in season 4, and he came to the studio, and it was absolutely amazing. So here he is on our drive. There he is. This was in 2002 in Thessaloniki. There he is with Kamal.
Whoa.
Kamal won the short class and the overall, and John won the over 40s, but he was nearly 60. He refused to go into the over 50s because he said, no, I want to go up against some real competition.
Yep.
So he jumped into I think he was 59 here, and he jumped into the over 40s, and he won it. I was there, and he won it easy. Seriously, smashed it. It was one of the best looks he's ever had. There you are, look. I took these photos. I took these. This was in Thessaloniki, Greece, and it's one of the hottest places I've ever been to. And the rooms, they didn't put the aircon on. Oh my God, in the hotel room. Oh my God, I was so tired when I came back and splashing myself with water. But anyway, so this was John. I mean, John was nearly 60 in these pictures. Wow. So he'd already been competing since like early 60s.
That's right.
So here we are. This was at the end of 2019 after Kamal won the 212 Olympia. And Kamal said, you used to live in Newcastle, Giles. I'm going to go up and see my sister for a week. Do you know any good gyms? So I recommended a gym. And I said, well, I'll come up and see you because I'd like to come up and, see my old stomping ground. And I said, well, look, if we're going to be training together, Kamal, I said, I can't not invite John if he's in the country.
Oh, definitely.
So I messaged John, and John said, aye, I'm in Newcastle. I said, well, John, come and train with us. So we'll train chest together.
Look at him. He age, is he?
He's about 77 there.
Wow.
So, and we had a really good chest session. Still pretty strong. Because obviously, I used to train with him back in 2001, and he was ridiculously strong. And he wasn't as strong then as he was when he was like he was younger. He was brute strong. I mean, he was setting powerlifting records when he was like 17, benching in his shed.
Johnny had a credit to your age, man. Look at him.
Amazing. And Kamal as well.
And Kamal.
Like 50. These guys in the 70s. See, bodybuilding, weight training, keeps you ageless.
Keep you ageless. You got to do it. Got to keep up with it.
Yeah, look at my guns there, looking pretty big.
Side chest on his arms.
I'm just going to zoom in my arms. Sorry, guys, I was getting a bit excitable there, and I actually disconnected my headphones there, so I couldn't hear myself. But so that was like a real happy memory there. And like I said, just want to say happy birthday, John. And there you go. That was 2002, the top picture in Thessaloniki out in the back. This was back out of the backstage. And this was 2019, all those years later. So I just want to wish you a very happy birthday, John. You're very loved and appreciated. You've done a lot for the British bodybuilding, and he's done a lot. Big supporter, and a huge figure, hugely respected figure in British bodybuilding. So okay then, guys. Also check out the latest issue of bloody Suns again. Check out the latest issue of MD, really good issue, and that is it. Big thank you there to Derrick Clarke.
Pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, we better go because we've got Samson on in like 2 minutes.
Whoa, yep.
So
sorry, folks. Bye.
That's all, folks. Right, okay, guys. Also, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And that is it, my friends. Okay, then I'm going to get this bloody sun out of my face. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out.